we're gonna be live. Three, two, and one. We're live. So,
Okay.
we dropped
My
off before.
oldest
We've been
one.
talking since, and we're talking about. We were just kind of talking about a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of stuff that I think a lot of you guys can relate to. Um, this gentleman, he's talking about things that 100% like realistic and can affect each and every one of our lives. And I can't believe that the stream cut on him the way it did. Um, it's really unfortunate. It would be kind of weird to like revisit it, but maybe we could revisit it later. But right now, we were just kind of going over how the government. This is realistic stuff that can affect all of us. They kind of misdiagnose, and you almost like if they say your kid has ADHD when they're really just naturally hyper. Like I was a hyper
Right.
kid, and I ended up being
I mean,
fine. You know.
dude, our youngest one will go in the kitchen, get a Mountain Dew, and chug it. I mean, yeah, it's bad. I mean, I'm not going to stop her if she wants something to drink. I know it's not good for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But our oldest one now retardation. I hate that word. I shouldn't have said it, but I hate it.
Yeah.
How can a school send you paperwork you fill out and she goes to the doctor and does that crap? How can a school say, hey, your kid got problems?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Our school system here
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
They just had a rally, a strike, our school system for 2 weeks or a week or so. No school because our teachers were
Because the teachers
inevitable.
they want
Yeah,
more, and
right.
some of those I agree with. Other ones I'm like, you know what? I
They
don't
want
know.
more money.
Yeah, it's
More
like,
money.
yeah, yeah. I know. I used to always like be like, no, support the teacher, and of course you support the teachers. But what I see going on in some of these schools nowadays, it makes me question, like, because a lot of these teachers are absolutely left leaning. They want they're all into government control, the type of stuff we're talking about, and they're all about it.
Exactly.
Diagnosing every
And
kid. Every kid's on
if
medicine.
she
Mm.
and we can't figure out if she's like that. I mean, you can see it. Yeah, there it is a little bit. How in the heck can a kid like that come home with a report card A's and B's
Oh
if she's
wow.
like that? I mean, she's up there. I'm like, wait a minute. Can we say something? If we say something, we'll get our kids taken away.
That's the scary
You know
part,
what I'm
man.
saying?
I had to deal with that just recently because of YouTube. Someone made up a bunch of lies and called the friggin'
Call
services.
CPS.
Yep.
Dude, I've dealt with freaking CPS for 2 years. We had over 100 cases on us from family just wanting these kids for money. I'm like, dude, why? Because the school labeled our kids problems. People sees that.
Yeah.
I put it out on Facebook, my feelings. People went off on that, and I shouldn't have
Wow.
done that. But anyway,
Huh.
I don't know, man.
Like,
Even the school
yeah.
is involved with the government more because our secretary, why don't you just put these girls in state custody so they can get help? Oh,
That's
I went off.
that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing for a kid.
Schools, exactly. School is with CPS. I am telling you.
Oh yeah,
They
absolutely. They
one
go
second.
hand in hand, and then they had just the threat of CPS.
Yeah, it's
It'll
always
force you.
CPS.
You'll give them the meds. You get no choice. It's like give them the meds
And
and we take
I'll
them.
be honest, I got taken away when I was 4 until I turned 21.
Yeah.
And this world is still new to me because I was so corrupted with the government, the state. You know what I'm saying? Medicine. Always wanting medicine. You know what I'm
Huh.
saying?
Yep. I do.
I don't know, man.
It's crazy.
If people wanting to call in, if there's people wanting to call in, man,
Yeah, I mean,
I can
actually,
take
the
your phone.
chat is starting to fill up now. A few people are dropping in. Yeah, people are starting to come back. They're starting to realize it's live. I bet you notifications didn't go up. Um,
There's a big thing on 60 seconds or 60 the other night about YouTube.
Oh yeah, that
YouTube is
today was supposed to be the day that they cut back, and I mean, you saw they just cut our stream. They just cut the stream on us in the middle of this gentleman talking, and we've been talking ever since, and it's been amazing conversation we've had. That will never air. I don't know if some of it aired because it still looked like we might be live, but chat got taken down. Anthony Brown said he got notified, so that's good. So hopefully people get notifications. It's late. So we'll see. But yeah, the 60 minutes thing is exactly they're supposed to be taking it's supposed to be
and it's like the vaping issue. It's a government thing. The vaping.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Well, me and the old lady did vaping. She got sick, too. I got sick.
Do you think that they put out the vape to cause health problems?
Yes.
Makes sense.
Well, a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Cigarettes, I think need to go. I'm a smoker. I don't know if you know.
Me too. Unfortunately, I'm trying to quit.
It needs to go.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It needs to go. All
so
we do
bad.
is up and down with our hands.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Yeah.
I told old lady,
you're actually more addicted to the motion of smoking. You know,
exactly.
It's a very weird addiction.
But that vaping, when you get through that cough when the vaping, it does help. But I must have got a hold of something that made me sick. Made me couldn't breathe good.
Might have been the vaping. Because that seems to be what it is. Like people who vape a lot, they get like that. Like they, from what I hear,
popcorn.
It's hard. The popcorn lungs. Like, yeah, that sounds scary, man. And I had a surgery. I only have half of one of my lungs. One of my lungs, they took out half of it. Yeah. Yeah. I got an infection in my blood. They had to take it out.
You wouldn't believe. I seen this YouTube video about trying to quit or trying to get away with cigarettes, vaping. Can you believe Hitler got involved or Hitler got brought up in the cigarette and vaping thing?
How so? That's interesting. How so?
I really don't remember how it got brought up. I have to look at it again somewhere. I don't remember. I gotta go through my YouTube thing.
Yeah.
But it was in front of a city council thing, so I know it was real. But the government wants the cigarette, but they want to get rid of vaping. I'm telling you, dude, my stepdad, he was about almost 2-3 packs a day guy.
Yeah.
He couldn't. I don't know. He was weird.
Huh.
He quit smoking and went to vaping for 2 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, dude, how are you breathing? Are you feeling anything? No, he feels good. Well,
okay.
The government wants to keep the cigarettes to kill off people for cancer and all this other stuff.
Well, that's what I worry about with vaping too. I mean, we know cigarettes kill, right? We know that.
Yeah.
And
vaping kill.
I don't know.
Now it is, but back then it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was all these vaping-related deaths, and they're starting to have all these up here in Massachusetts. They just passed all these vaping laws, taking them off the shelves. They totally but then again, it makes me think because the whole it affected the marijuana market the biggest. Because they're just opening the shops, even though we voted to have marijuana legal here in Massachusetts. They just started opening the shops just recently, and now they're starting to pop up more and more. And it was almost like they were like, all right, nah, but the vaping, no. Now the vaping thing, that's not happening anymore. You can't buy it.
Again, that's a government thing, because why are they not getting rid of these cigarettes?
I know, but the cigarettes never go away. It's those Philip Morris. I mean, those companies, they're so big. But it goes. Then the next conversation, of course, is what about the alcohol companies? Then you take away cigarettes, it's like, well, alcohol is actually might be worse.
And like we're going through here, dude, where I live.
Yeah.
We set out and watch. We call them the Walking Dead.
Oh,
down the streets.
The addicts.
The addicts.
Heroin.
We call them the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Zombies.
I heard West Virginia because
Right there.
West Virginia got hit with the OxyContin real bad. I know that because I know it got hit really bad up here. And from what I understood, the only place that was even comparable, like at the beginning, was West Virginia. They had.
I got across the street where I live. I can't say names, but where I live across the street, it's an attic place. It used to be a Boys and Girls Club.
Whoa.
They're shutting these buildings down and open clinics.
Yeah, and they put them on the methadone and all that, and that stuff's worse. Yeah. And then, God forbid, they got to come off that. We're talking months of hell.
Well, here they do heroin and crack, but the crack and the needle, and it just makes them go crazy, man. Dancing.
Wow.
It could be like -5 out, and they'd be half naked in the mud hole, swimming, going crazy.
That's unbelievable. So there's is it a methadone clinic? Is that what it is? Right there?
Yeah, we've already got like 30 here.
I know that there's a huge problem in West Virginia too. We got a huge problem up here. But you know what happens? Those methadone clinics, people say you don't get high. That is bullshit. Those people are high off their ass every single day. There's a reason they get up and go every day. They get high off methadone. But then they always they all do crack. Because they still want to like do something, it's not enough. They're high on the methadone, but that's free. So when they hustle up some money, they're all doing cocaine, crack, shooting it, smoking it, whatever they're doing.
Our city cops, man, they did a bus, I guess, and they touched the heroin, and they all the cops touched it, had to get rushed to the hospital.
Fentanyl. That sounds like fentanyl. Yeah, it was one of those fentanyl laced. Yeah. Wow.
Which I told you my cousin.
Which comes from China. That's from China. The fentanyl, the synthetic.
Ours is coming from the motorcycle thing.
Yeah. Oh, as far as like the dealing, it's coming from really. So the bike is yeah. The HA is up here. They have a lot of influence up here. Hell's Angels. I know that.
Even these Christian bike gangs, these bikers go to church, which I think it's right.
Wow, huh? That's crazy. So they're all in church with you guys and then selling afterwards. Oh, I gotta plug in this computer.
They do a lot here, good, but I think it's just but I don't know. But and it's another thing. It's like these cops. Well, we got a tip line we can call in. Say, hey, this neighbor's doing drugs. My cousin said, man, it's probably got like 8,000 or 9,000 tips on that answer machine.
8,000 or 9,000 what?
Tips.
Wow.
Yeah, like drug tips, like your neighbor's selling drugs.
Wow.
I lived around probably about 8 drug dealers. Yeah, I mean, our teenagers, like 15 to 16, went up.
It sounds like they don't have a chance.
I mean, it's just so bad around here.
Yeah, I mean, location's everything. When I used up until 6 years ago, right? I would do anything. I would get high. And it was all about location. When I lived in like the inner city, the worst places, it's like you're having a bad day, boom, the stuff's right there. And it's like all it takes is you have like a bad week, and boom, you're hooked on some drug, and it's all about location. Once I got out of there, I got my head clean. I sobered up, met Amanda, clean. 6 years, clean. And you have to like be fed up. You have to be done. I had to lose half a lung. All kinds of stuff happened. I went through. I've been down that road. After the Navy, I got
HBI.
Yeah.
What is it? HBI? What AIDS around here?
They have a lot of HIV. They did you hear? It just came out in the news. There was they were starting to think that they almost have HIV eradicated, but then it came out that a new strain of HIV was just started coming out. So
Really?
that's scary.
We got
Yeah.
like 86 people here.
Is it definitely HIV or is it Hep C? I know
I guess
everybody has Hep C. No, it's legit HIV, huh? Wow, that's
yeah, it's like
crazy.
needles.
Yeah, because I know
Yeah,
Hep
we got a
C
needle
is very
program.
common. Yeah, they have a
Remember
cure for
how I
the
told
Hep
you?
C.
Remember how I told you how fishing was? Well, I throw a cast net into the water and get bait. It's like kind of like lazy fishing for bait.
Yeah.
Well, I threw the net in the water to get shad and skipjack, and I'm sitting here pulling out three uncapped needles in the dark. My old lady flipped the shit, man. Almost grabbed my net and threw it again. Thank God I didn't touch the needles, man. We got a needle program here. You know what I'm talking about?
Like they exchange them in and out.
Yeah. They give you so many. They even give you a little piece of like a little spoon cup in the water.
Oh, they give you like everything, huh?
They give you like a.
They're trying to prevent the spread of disease, but
yeah,
nobody's gonna get sober like that. That's the problem.
Again, it's the government playing, man. It's money, money.
It's shady, man. Yeah.
My city gets so much money a month or a year.
And they just they get stuck in that cycle, you know. Then they get the food stamps, they become disabled. It's really just addiction masquerading as a disability. All of a sudden they're all on disability.
Like Trump, you just found that back. Trump's smart.
Yeah.
Trump is really against people on food stamps, which I kind of don't like.
I don't like that either. I heard about that and I was like, I remember I needed food stamps. Now they won't give them to me, but that's fine. I tried a few years ago and they said you don't qualify anymore. I'm like, all right.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've been working, you know. So.
I think he knows he's getting ready to get out of the office. So I like Trump, but hopefully he don't pull stupid shit if he knows he's getting ready to get out of the office. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make up like Obama made that bathroom thing when he got out. Remember that? Like
yes.
Lowe's and Walmart has that guy or a girl can go into each other's bathrooms or whatever. That's stupid. You shouldn't be able to do stuff like that if you're the president.
That's bad.
It is. But Bub, I can let you get off here and I know I'm sorry I didn't mean to talk long.
No, we had a great chat. I mean, it's unfortunate it cut out on us like that because we were talking about Walmart, underground tunnel systems. We were talking about what's going on over in North Korea. We touched on so many things. It was nice talking to you, brother.
But you ever notice one more thing?
Yeah.
You ever notice going to Walmart and you're always spending your whole check almost at Walmart?
I mean, it's what they kind of replaced all the mom and pop stores. You almost have to go there for a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
they know we're going to give you the money for the next 2 weeks. You're going to go to Walmart and spend it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. This is like the prices.
It's like recycling the money right back in because Walmart's totally connected with the government, you know. But thank you for calling in, bro. I really appreciate it. And please call in again. Like I said, tomorrow night I'm gonna do another show like this. All right. And maybe we can, if you can do it. I mean, I'd love to talk about those same topics. You know what I mean? That we went over when we were offline. All right. So we'll do that. Thank you, brother.
All right. Bye.
All right. Yeah, we went over some crazy topics. Wow. When the stream cut off, it was unbelievable. The stream just went. Well, first it was the chat, and then it was the stream was still live, but I could see that people were dropping out. Maybe the stream dropped out earlier than I realized, but we were talking about all this crazy crap. Someone said check your text messages. Oh, Siberian dies. His phone died. That's what I thought happened. Oh yeah, hey, anyone who's texted me, the only reason I haven't answered, I was on the phone with him the whole time. I know a lot of people were just trying to let me know the stream was down, but I was on the phone with him the whole time, so there was no way I could check the text messages. I try to be as genuine as I can be. I wanted to actually talk to the guy. We had a great conversation, and I just started up another live. So, hey, Red Pill News Dispensary, how you doing?
Doing quite good, mate. How are you?
Pretty good. What's up? What's on your mind, or any specific topic you want to talk about?
Yeah, mate. Actually, I hope this isn't, too controversial. I just wanted to know what
No
your
such
general
thing on this
right,
channel.
Right. I just wanted to know what your opinion was on Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders? You know what?
Right.
Believe it or not, and back in the last election, when I was looking at, Hillary versus him, I was hoping for Bernie to come out of that because I thought that Trump had no chance at that point. When
Same.
so I was like, well, I'd rather Bernie than Hillary. Although it's kind of scary, his policies. I can't imagine these socialist policies working in America. I know they haven't worked in other countries. They have worked in other, like Sweden, for instance. Some socialist policies have worked, but they have different. We have way different types of problems. Just the little bit of welfare and social stuff that we do gets abused so bad. I don't know how socialism would ever work in this country where we've all grown up as capitalists and there's winners and losers and that type of stuff. Why? What do you think?
Right. Yeah. So obviously, the election was won before the first vote was ever cast, and that's not very democratic, in my opinion.
Yeah. Especially with Hillary, you mean, like on the Democrat side?
Right. Yeah. So
absolutely, that wasn't fair at all. That was bullshit. It helped Trump win too.
I completely agree. She had the super delegates in her pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had won it before the first vote was ever cast, and that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm actually a big Bernie Sanders fan. Socialism is an interesting topic because when you look at places that it's successful, it's typically places that have a lower population.
Yes.
Here in the here in the U.S., obviously there's over 350 million people.
That's what I worry about.
I really like Bernie. I do, and I like what he's advocating for, and I think that he's a super honest guy.
That's what I like too. He does come off as extremely authentic, and I worry about his health a little bit.
I do too, because he had a heart attack, and then he just went right back to campaigning. He didn't really seem to care that much.
Yeah, I know. He was. They showed him dancing the other day. He was having a great old time. So, I mean, with some of the medicine and technology, say you're running for president, he's going to get the best treatment. I think he'll be around for a while. I mean, when these very powerful people die, they're sick for a while before they actually die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A couple things here. The first thing is that he does have a little bit of money, but he's not that rich. He's only been a millionaire as of very recently.
Makes sense.
So he wrote a book and he made a lot of money off of it. But before that, he definitely was not a millionaire. So he is powerful, but only as of very recently. And a heart attack can take anybody out at any time. So he runs himself so hard. I mean, you look at last season. Last election. Right. And, when he lost the election to Hillary Clinton, he just went crazy campaigning for her. And then he's been basically campaigning for 2020 ever since he lost the election.
You're right. Yeah, yeah, he has ever since. He really has. He's been like kind of that figure, and I think a lot of people regretted, kind of letting Hillary pull that shit. So people who are liberal and left, I could imagine that. You have someone like Bernie who I think comes off as authentic, and then you got someone like Hillary who, I mean, you couldn't be any more corrupt than her, right? I mean, that's about as corrupt as it gets. And, they might not be happy with who the president is or whatever their situation is. I could totally see that. I think Bernie's an authentic guy. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, mate, I completely agree. And you look at this election, obviously Hillary's not running, but you've got the second worst thing, which is Joe Biden.
I know. Yeah. Oh, there's no way he's going to win it. I mean,
no, there's not.
The whole impeachment is based on his corruption and his son getting all that money, along with Kerry and his corruption and his stepson getting all this money. And even Whitey Bulger's nephew is the third American on that board. So it's like, the Secretary of State, the vice president, and a mobster's brother all have their children on the board of Burisma. I mean, it's bad, and that's what they're going for Trump for. So it's just going to shine a light even more on that, and people are not going to. There's no way he's going to win. I'll tell you, on the left, if I had to pick someone, I would say Tulsi Gabbard. I think Tulsi Gabbard is
You're not the only one, mate.
Yeah, I like her a lot. I think she's authentic, which means a lot because, I don't want someone who's going to be corrupted by the deep state and corrupted by, I think that there's some entities that people don't. I happen to have some views that are kind of really out there, that there is some certain technology and wisdom that you can take, that you're going to be, kind of when you become president, you're going to all of a sudden become aware of. Maybe before you even become president, just if you're close, you're going to get that knowledge. And you want someone who's authentic to begin with, because they say absolute power absolutely corrupts, right?
Right.
You need someone who's authentic to start out with, and I just feel like Tulsi Gabbard would be the best from the left for what I feel. She's a veteran. She's already going at it with Hillary Clinton, which I like. She's kind of
and Kamala Harris, she destroyed her.
She took her out of the race.
Yeah, essentially, she's the reason she dropped out.
Yeah. She has a huge following on YouTube. She's like one of those, like she's like kind of like one of those. I could see her coming out of nowhere and all of a sudden just like gaining that momentum. She could get a huge pot, like the veteran vote. She's the type of person who could take away, if anyone was ever gonna beat Trump, which is, I don't think anyone could. But it would have to be somebody who would take away those independent voters. Like for me, like I'm independent. I am never, I don't like to box myself in as a Republican or a Democrat or anything. I just like to be independent, look at each situation for what it is. I happen to like Trump a real lot. But I like Tulsi Gabbard as well. So I could see, just based on that alone, I could see her taking a lot of his voters. It doesn't mean I would necessarily vote for her and ruin a good thing that I think is going, but just the fact that I can see the appeal. Absolutely. I think Tulsi Gabbard would be their best choice. I really do. And the fact that, and also I like it when I see the deep state trying to make it look like she's a Russian agent. That tells me that she's legit.
Ridiculous.
When you get bad media, I start to think, okay, you know what? That means they're legit. It's as crazy as it is. It's like if the media isn't so kind to them, well, that means that they don't have all those special interests They're not into all that, all the lobbyists, the special interests. They're not in with the media. They're outsiders, and
Which is actually, it's actually why, and you see, people like Buttigieg surging so crazily,
Yes.
and it's just like, oh, he's such a centrist junkie.
I know. Yeah, it's almost like they kind of feel like, well, everyone has a little something they like about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the story kind of within the Democratic Party. Like I watch Bill Maher a lot. I think he's a funny
Yeah.
dude. I think he's straight up, right? And he's like taking a break for a couple of months, but his shows are interesting. I mean, his audience is so far left, and he pisses them off because he calls them out on their bullshit. I like him, but he's a liberal. He's what a liberal used to be. Put it that way.
Right.
What a liberal used to stand for is what Bill Maher is, I believe. And I think that they have that there's like this discussion going on in the Democratic Party. Like, do we just pick who we think is the best, as far as demographics and analytics that can beat Trump, who's the safe pick, which is the only reason why Biden was where he was. It's like, oh, the Rust Belt will like him, and if we just win the Rust Belt, mathematically we got it. I just think there's no way to go about an election. You need
No
to
way.
fire up the people, and I just, Joe Biden. What are you kidding me?
And even more than that, and
Yeah.
this is, no, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, I don't mean to interrupt you. This is your call. Do you?
No worries, mate. So this is just my opinion here. I think that Donald Trump. Now listen, I'm not a Donald Trump fan, right? I'm actually really far left.
Okay.
But I gotta say, he's an amazing debater. The way that he manipulates a crowd, and the way that he manipulates just the entire country, just in the way that he debates, it's immeasurable. Really, there's nobody else that debates that particular style, at least not in a very long time. So when you take somebody like Joe Biden, who's not a great debater at all, he's actually awful. He sounds like he's having an aneurysm every time he debates because he can't even string a full sentence together.
Yeah. He doesn't even know where he is sometimes. That happens almost every time. He's like, here in Ohio, and he's in Illinois. It's just, it happens way too much.
Donald Trump's going to tear him apart, man.
Yeah. They got to find something that's going to get people fired up. And like you said, I think, Pete, he's like a safe pick. Although, you know what? I mean, he's kind of out there, right? He's gay or something, right? He's gay.
Yeah, he is.
So he's gay.
The first time that's happened.
So that would be a first. But is that in the United States of America? I don't think that he would make it. I just don't think.
No, I think that there's not enough people on the right that would vote for him. He wouldn't pass it.
Yeah, just that alone. Just the fact that he's gay. That's just the way it is. I mean, the Bible Belt. There's no way.
Unfortunately, yeah, you're right.
But as far as so you think Tulsi? Because we have like different views, but I like that. I like it. These days, it's too bad when people have opposing views. It's vicious. It's I don't like how politics has turned into. People really, and it's good to have a conversation like this. So I'm just curious because I personally, because I'm an independent, so maybe that's why it's easier to have this.
I am actually as well.
Yeah, see, but I'm an independent that loves Trump. You're an independent that doesn't love that you don't like Trump. So it's it's interesting, right? So how does that happen? So it's like what do you think of Tulsi? You think Tulsi is it? Do you think she? I mean, who is your? If you could pick, forget about demographics, analytics. Who is the person that you could really get behind? Like I'm not saying it's Tulsi. I'm just telling you that's who I thought would be a good choice for the Democrats. But who's like someone that you could get behind?
Right. So I mean, obviously, Bernie Sanders. I was a big fan of him in 2016, and then of course, Hillary Clinton, completely screwed him over. And then now here we are in 2020, and he's honestly The Democratic Party is not very democratic. He's probably going to get screwed over again. But in the event that for whatever reason Bernie Sanders is not the nominee, if I could choose the second nominee, I actually think it would be Andrew Yang.
Ooh, a lot of people like him.
I like him a lot, actually.
Interesting. You think $1,000 for everybody? That sounds appealing.
Yeah. I think that just like beyond from an individualistic standpoint, that like, oh, I would like $1,000. Like beyond that, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think he's very intelligent.
Very smart.
Yeah, he's definitely intelligent. With Bernie, I think that Elizabeth Warren would cut into his votes.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren's a knockoff Bernie Sanders. I don't really like it that much.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like that? And I'm from Massachusetts, where she is, and that's how it feels, like a cheap Bernie. She's like she kind of adapted Bernie's ideas. Yet, 15 years ago, she was a Republican, or 20 years ago, or something. A lot of people don't know that.
I really hate politicians that do that too.
Yeah,
that's a big thing I like about Bernie is that. You can go back 30 years, and
he's always been Bernie. I can appreciate that. I can definitely appreciate the authenticity of Bernie Sanders. Whereas, when you go back into Elizabeth Warren, who's out of Massachusetts, where I live, she claimed to be a colored woman. I mean, get out of here! The first colored woman to do this, the first colored woman to do that, and she's as white as. I mean. You don't get any whiter than that.
Listen, and I don't like this just from like a political standpoint. And as a president, I don't think you should say this, but when President Trump started calling her Pocahontas, I thought it was the funniest thing in the fucking world.
Which one? As far as like the Pocahontas and all that.
Yeah. When he started calling all that, I was like, God, that's so spot on.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, he like at first I was like, I didn't like the names and stuff. I was like, oh, that's kind of shit. Like the first time I started hearing him do the names, but then I started realizing the genius of it because it's almost like you're back in grade school. That shit sticks. You come up with a good nickname for somebody and making fun of them like a bullet, it'll stick.
Smart.
And politically, basically that's what it is. It's like a popularity contest, right? And you label them like that. I mean, Pocahontas. I mean, that's brutal. I mean, she pretended to be Native her whole life, a Native American her whole life. That's how she got through
every
free
single
college.
time.
Yeah.
And because he's the president, he's got more power than anybody. So when people are in the voting booth, the only thing they're going to think about is she pretended to be something she wasn't.
Yeah.
She pretended to be more Native American than she actually was. And it's just, it rubs people the wrong way and it puts a bad taste in the mouth. And he's done it amazing. And he's doing it against Joe Biden. But
Sleepy
Joe. Doing it to himself.
Yeah. And he even said, I don't think he's really worried about Biden. I don't think he's worried about any of them, really. I mean, I think he respects Bernie. He doesn't really go hard at Bernie that much because I think he realizes there's some authenticity there. And but as long as Elizabeth Warren's in the race, I feel like she's gonna cut into his numbers.
Yeah, and if you look at the latest polling of the last
who's up?
month,
I don't even pay attention to it anymore. But who's up?
That's all right. I don't really that much either, but I know that Bernie had a great debate, so I decided to take a look into it, and she's falling rapidly.
She's falling.
Yeah, she's not doing great at all.
Interesting, because I know she was like on the rise, and Kamala Harris, I know she dropped out. I was surprised by that, but then again, it kind of makes sense.
Gabbard ended her. That's the whole reason she dropped out.
She came off as like another Hillary, almost. Like a corruptible kind of part of the old problem. I don't know. That's how she came off to me, just off of face value.
Yeah, so she tried to say that, she tried to prosecute Joe Biden, busing and stuff like that. And then she very later said that she agreed with Joe Biden. So it was like, it's so clear what she was trying to do. She was just trying to like make him look bad. Then
Yeah.
later she said she doesn't blame him at all. So it's just she's just a chameleon.
Yeah.
She adapts to whatever needs to happen, and then
And
of
that's the
course,
worst thing
altogether-
you want to look like these days.
Agreed.
I just think
And then
that
altogether,
authenticity
pulled her out.
is everything. It's gonna mean a lot, I think, in the future of politics, and I think that's a good thing. I think that people have realized the BS, and they know it when they see it. I that gives me high hopes that people, no matter what, left, right, whatever it is, they're starting to notice the BS, and that there's been kind of this. We've kind of been played. We've been played by our leaders, and we need to take a lot more into consideration when choosing them. No matter what side you're on, I feel like people are waking up to that.
Yeah. No, listen. I completely agree with you, mate.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, I want to thank you for calling in, and we were able to have a nice conversation about this. And what's your accent, by the way?
So I'm actually from Australia.
That's what I thought. Someone said maybe New
Yeah.
Zealand, but I said no. I think it's Australia. So yeah, I met a lot of Australians when I was in the military. They were great guys.
Right. So if you don't mind me asking, what branch did you serve?
The Navy, U.S.
That's
Navy.
amazing.
Yeah, I was a cryptologist in collection, which is basically like requires a top secret clearance. And it very interesting. It basically there's all different types of cryptology. You could be like a linguist. You could be into like the techie part of it, more like the actual like the computers. And I wasn't into all that. It was code breaking, basically. Code breaking and analysis of intelligence. So
yeah. My brother was in the Navy as well.
Oh, the Australian Navy or the U.S. Navy?
The U.S. Navy.
The U.S. Navy. Oh wow, nice. Do you know what his rate was? Like his what he did? His
Yeah, so he was actually in the Navy for about a year, and then he had pulled out of it. So he was in it for a year, and then he had decided it wasn't for him, and he had pulled out of it. So I don't know very much about what he did or anything like that.
He was probably just like in school. That happens a lot. Like probably like like 1/3 of the sailors, after about a year, people get homesick. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a job that's 24/7. A lot of times you're overseas. It's tough. It's a total culture shock.
He had said that in the beginning they try really hard to break you.
Oh, and they a lot of people, most get broken in boot camp. Yeah.
They make you stay up for like 72 hours and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's right before you graduate boot camp. They force you awake for about 72 hours, and then you do battle games or battle something, and basically you just have to go off of muscle memory. You need to be you really find out who you are in those days because you're sleep. Like one thing people don't realize when let's say you're torturing somebody and trying to get information, people think, oh yeah, you're gonna take the fingernail. Really, the number one way to do it is sleep deprivation. You don't let them sleep for day after day after day after day after day. Eventually, they'll tell you anything. Sleep deprivation is one of those things where it will just break down every single layer of and you'll get down to the truth. Yeah, and exactly, and it works in that way as well. And either you're gonna make it or you're not. I mean, it's tough. A lot of people don't make it, but it's a proud moment when I cried when I made it. You know what I mean? Like they give you, they give you your Navy hat, and from that moment forward, you're no longer a recruit. You're Navy. You're a sailor. And it's kind of like a Navy initiation, basically. That's the end of boot camp, and not everyone makes it.
No, listen, it's amazing. And listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say this real quick. I heard you talking about, I heard you talk to someone about this before I called, and that was that the end is near. But I just wanted to say, I think I agree with both of you.
Wow. What? Wow. What makes you feel like that?
Yeah. My dad goes to perhaps the biggest church, one of the biggest churches in California called Bethel.
Yes.
And we've talked extensively about this, about the end being near. And it's a lot to explain, but I subscribe to that notion. I think it is.
Yeah.
Biblically, there's a lot of parallels that you could draw, but
There are, and it's. I totally agree, brother. I really, honestly do think with the technology, it's like the things that are happening match the days of Noah, and that's what's it's supposed to be like the days of Noah in the end. And we're messing around with transhumanism and all this technology and mixing it with people, and I think that's where there's a certain line where once you cross that line, I think that's it. Just give me one sec. Actually, thank you for. I just gotta check on my kid real quick. Real nasty cough. But thank you for calling in, sir. I really
no worries,
appreciate it.
mate.
I
No
really
worries.
appreciate you calling me. I appreciate you calling in and having a good conversation like that.
Absolutely, mate. I'll definitely call in
Yeah.
a little bit later. Do you have a schedule for your call in at all?
No, just when I'm live, I'll do call-in shows. I do informative shows. I just happen to do a call-in show. He's got some new equipment, so usually a little bit earlier than this usually. But yeah, like tomorrow night, most likely I'll be live again if you'd like to call in.
All right, mate. Absolutely. Right. I'll subscribe and I'll take a look.
All right, great. Thank you.
Mate.
All right, have a great night. Thank you. Bye bye. See, that's nice. We have like different views, and then we're able to talk. I just need 1 second. I know. I'm sorry. Who's calling in? I'm gonna take calls. Just give me 1 second. My kid got a nasty cough. That don't sound good. Oh. Amanda, she all right? It's like all day she's no, she'll get during the day. I think so. She's not like we have to bring her in. Man, my kids say I'll bring it to the doctors tomorrow. It's bad cough. Red pill news, Spencer.
Yo, Matt, what's up, man? It's Siberian Bear.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I couldn't, got cut off, so I ended the live stream. I'm buffering for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it called? Yeah, sorry, I don't have my laptop, so I had to look between the chat and trying to call.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, I got Fox News, live updates. I'm just watching all night, being up all night. Yeah, they're gonna have, live updates about
about the shooting, I think, in Jersey City next. But also, Carter Page was just on Fox News. He was giving an interview with Shannon Bream, which was interesting.
Carter Page, yeah.
Some bombshells, yeah.
Just
Carter
now?
Page, he was right on. He was on Shannon Bream. They're about to expose. He said some crazy stuff. They're like, because his life got destroyed. Like he's behind a lot. Like I don't know, like everything about Carter Page.
He's gonna get a lawyer and sue the government.
Yeah. They're like, "What's your plan?" He's like, "I got a bunch of good lawyers, and like, he's like, I can't reveal the plan." But he was like, he was like smiling and stuff. Like, it looks like this guy got a lot of dirt, to shovel.
Dig up. They screwed it. He's gonna come out of this just fine. He's gonna get big money out of this.
He's in there, yeah. He's exposing these bastards.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a low level. It's just they chose him. I mean, secretly, he actually was working with the CIA, so he had every reason to be meeting with this foreign intel guy that he was meeting with, that they try to use as an excuse. And it became apparent pretty quick that they just picked him because they knew that through him they could listen to everyone else.
Yeah, the monitoring, that's crazy.
Yeah, because you don't just when they do the FISA, they don't just do that person. They monitor everyone that person comes in contact with. So basically, it's like an indirect but direct way of spying on Trump, and that's what the problem is.
That's going like NSA. Oh, sorry. Yeah, keep going.
No,
like NSA stuff. Yeah,
that's it. That's what the problem is. That's basically what it boils down to, Exactly. And then renewing it 3 times makes it so obvious that you had alternative. Like by then, they knew Steele was bullshit. They knew that the information was false even before the first one. But let's just say they claimed whatever. Well, after the second, third, fourth, they're all those renewals. Anybody who signed those renewals are totally screwed. Those are the people who are definitely going down.
There's so much forgery going on that I mean, there's a lot of people going down.
Yeah.
It's like this whole house of cards.
Yes.
And they got these 2 articles of impeachment, which is total BS. And
they're very broad.
Like Rudy. Yeah, very broad, very general. Does it? I mean, if they had something concrete, it would have been
abuse of power.
Yeah, what is abuse of power? Are you kidding me? They abusing taxpayers' money and all this.
I would think Pfizer abuse is abuse of power. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They would spy on his campaign and stack the whole deck against him and use the media against him.
Using James Bond, Christopher Steele, MI6 type characters.
Yeah, and then through his whole presidency.
It's like a movie. You can't make this stuff up. This is crazier than a movie. You know how they say the world is a stage,
Yeah.
And imagine that, like all the stuff that's going on. Imagine like who the devil, like whatever, Satan and all his minions are working through. Like he's possessing these people or something. I don't know who's behind. Probably Hillary's real close. I heard some crazy stuff like the higher ups in politics. I don't know, like through what means, but they directly get like information from Satan, like literally, like.
Well,
that's already.
I've heard. Well, I've heard like that.
Heard Obama, Hillary, like all those people.
Bill Gates had something going out of the University of Washington, where he found a way. He would have you would basically, they would pump oxygen in your blood, and for some reason they did that. I think it was to actually keep your brain from going dead, and they would have a way where basically they'd put something in you that would basically make you die. And you could only die for so long, and then they bring you back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they pump you.
That's what I heard. That's what they said. Like some people claim that happened to Epstein because they had the autopsy, and like they put him. It's kind of like not a sleeping pill. Yeah, your heart stops.
Yeah, you actually die, but then you visit these other beings.
So
we were actually talking about that before.
Transfer of consciousness. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you can actually speak to these other beings, and a lot of people think that these beings are actually really just demons. And you bring back knowledge. You wake up. You can't go for too long. If you go for too long, you might not come back. But you go and they give you knowledge, and they want you to have this knowledge. You know,
it goes into like the whole Saturn worship that they worship, you know, but it's all the
Saturnalia
symbolism,
and
the
all that.
hexagon, like all the symbolism of Saturn. Supposedly it's supposed to be like a portal to hell. That's what they're saying. If you like follow the whole Saturn symbology. But,
Yes. Like supposedly they said that like Satan is locked on Saturn. That I've heard stuff like that before. He's
and the black cubes and stuff.
the
All this crazy stuff.
cubes, the cube worship. You see a lot of that.
Yeah, and that's
like
why
the
they have
D-Wave.
quantum computers.
The D-Wave.
The D-Waves, the Geordie Rose.
Yep. He says it outright.
Concern.
Talks about Lovecraft and all that.
Yeah, and he went deep into the whole transhumanism. Like he even like the quantum computers are like black cubes. Like some of them look crazy.
Literally a black cube that has a heartbeat, and you can hear the heartbeat. And inside they have a chip, and basically what they do is they make it so cold, it goes to a fraction of a fraction above absolute zero. Yeah, it's measured in Kelvin. It's like Kelvin, and it's just absolute above, because you can't get absolute zero. But you can get right there, and it's absolute zero. It's colder than anywhere in outer space inside this machine, and it slows everything down. And all of a sudden, that's what makes the electrons slow down to the point where they can make 1 zeros and 0 1s. And the whole idea of quantum mechanics, which really, if you accept quantum mechanics, you're accepting that there are other universes that are just like this one with slight differences.
Parallel, but that's what you ever heard of Anthony Patch? Like talked about.
That's my boy. I've met. We've had coffee 3 times.
Oh, he's great.
I've met Richie from Boston once, and I met Anthony Patch 3 times. Yeah.
Wow. So damn.
Anthony Patch is. I think he's the most intelligent man.
He's brilliant.
We have in the truth community.
With everything, he's definitely. He got what's it called? He was on so many.
Like I'm on his Patreon. Like
I follow his live streams.
He does a lot of crazy information on Patreon.
Yeah, did you know?
But he doesn't charge me. He just does it for free. He said you don't have to pay, man. So he's cool. I like Anthony Patch.
Oh wow, you actually met him? That's insane.
Yeah, Anthony Patch. I've always been. He was like the first one back when he was with Richie.
He exposed all the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was just very interesting because he knew what he was talking about, and like those quantum computers, once they reach a certain level, they make cryptology basically obsolete, like code breaking. They make it obsolete because they could just create any code, and as long as you have one of these D-Waves, you can break that same code with these quantum computers, and you can create unbreakable codes, or basically these machines that can break any code. It's just if both sides have one, it makes all the hacking and spying becomes obsolete. Because these things are just so exactly, they can crack anything. So it made sense to me as someone who did that, and
you said code. You did.
I realized he was legit. I realized
for the service.
Oh, thank you. Of course, thank you.
And you got good info. And what's it called? So he had one of these streams, Anthony Patch, where he said he literally exposed how in MIT, the Institute of Technology, the Massachusetts, the craziest one, MIT.
I grew up right there.
It's in Boston, right? Yeah.
I know it very, very well. Yeah, I was born
that's
there.
Insane. Yeah.
At the same city, Harvard, MIT, it's all in Cambridge.
Yeah, it's all there, exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, the first, the most, it's insane. It goes back to Aleister Crowley, how the whole basis, of technology is basically like magic, how it's indistinguishable from magic. So they have to study. I don't know what's written in all those books. In the Crowley books, and they have to study the occult black magic. That's literally what they study at MIT. That's how you get to the top.
It's crazy.
So they know.
And Anthony Patch he had to study some of that stuff. And I mean, he had to put on the full armor of God. And him and his wife, they were learning, they were exposing some crazy stuff on Patreon.
They exposed the whole agenda, the whole CERN bulge. He was basically
secret gematria, secret
Exactly.
secret geometry. He
Saturn
showed exactly
symbolism.
how it worked. I mean, I was like, I'll be honest. I've watched some stuff where it started messing with me. Like at night, I closed my eyes and I would see the bafflement.
Oh, dude, well, that's when you're on YouTube like all day and you
Yeah, I
start
think I
feeling
was.
things.
I would
Yeah,
think I was
that's
just looking up too much,
that's when you
and
call Jesus. Yeah, I hate that. I know what
I
you're talking
came
about.
across
I
too
put
much. Too much evil was let into my life with all the research I was doing, and
exactly.
it
That's
was
why you gotta
messing with
in
me.
the
I
morning.
had to take a break. Yeah,
In the morning, you have to. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
even like look into like the pictures and the symbolism of that because
It's
I already
yeah.
seen so much of it that it's just disgusting and how it's all in all the music videos and all the.
It's in
You
all
know,
the kids shows. It's
yeah,
unbelievable.
you can't
Everything
even.
is a
Disney.
goat or an
Disney
owl.
runs the world. Disney,
It's
the
unbelievable.
conglomerate, they just bought Fox News out. Disney, they own like forget entertainment. They own like all the companies in America, like most of them. It's insane.
Yeah. I did a whole show on Disney a couple weeks ago,
Disney and how
and
how
everything
their
they
logo is the
own. Yeah,
firmament type thing.
they own
Breaking
everything.
through.
They had this place called Club 23. They had all kinds of shady stuff happen there.
Yeah,
They,
you mean 23 or what? Oh wait,
Club 23. Yeah, 23 is also a number that is
yeah, the
into
2-3.
the occult. The 23. But yeah, they had all kinds of child sex rings.
Look, Jersey City shooting. They're saying police officer died, but then Blue Line. They're just saying one film, but they're gonna have more info tomorrow. They're just coming in live. Someone's talking about it. Yeah, there was some really.
Yeah, the one that approached them. What happened was, and I got the inside scoop on this one for sure. They were in a U-Haul, and the a detective actually approached them, and I think he thwarted an FF because this was.
He probably wasn't even supposed to be there, but he knew
He was
something.
investigating something. He's a detective. He's not just some regular cop. This guy's a detective. 40 years old, leaves behind a family. I know his name, but I don't know if they released his name yet, so I'm not even gonna.
They did. Yeah, they just did.
Okay, yeah.
Detective Joseph Seals.
That's
Detective
it.
Joseph Seals.
That's it.
Yeah, with the whole SWAT team, there was so much shell casings on the ground.
There was constant fire for 16 minutes.
That is, that could have been
and it was longer than that. It was longer than that. But I mean, like the gunfire didn't. It was like nonstop for 60 minutes, and it continued. But
yeah, with that
they
much,
were on rooftops.
Oh my god, with that much shooting, that could have been like like the Vegas shooting where they killed. And I was in Vegas like a week before it happened. I left, and Stephen Paddock, he was in CIA too.
Yeah, Stephen Paddock. Yeah,
he killed. That was like the most people in U.S. history in
to be killed in one. Yeah, but you know what's crazy is who else was in town that day was the Saudi prince, that is now the king.
MBS. Yeah, MBS.
Yeah. He is now the
chopped up Khashoggi.
Yeah, and he had all his cousins, 9/11,
right?
all the other princes, I'm not sure about that, but maybe. But I know that all the other princes at that time, there was a power struggle amongst the Saudis, and I believe that back then, Trump helped out that particular prince, I think, and they helped him out with the intelligence. He was kind of like, and that's why the Saudis are a close ally, but at the same time, you're going to have shit like this happen because people forget most of the 9/11 guys were Saudis.
Exactly. And that ties into the naval shooting at Pensacola.
Yep.
That dude.
Yep. And then him, and it wasn't just him.
It's also flight school. Yeah.
They had a bunch of guys that are on the same page as that guy. They all were radicalized. Not all. I mean, like this one group though. This like group of guys that were in Pensacola where I was stationed as well. It's just I wasn't on the air base.
You were there. You were around there. Yeah, because you were in the Navy.
Back in the day, yep, I was stationed, and I was stationed at that was an air base, but then 2 miles away. It's all for training there. That's why they're there. So you do anything in aviation, you're gonna do training in Pensacola, the air base. Now I went to the air base for processing, but then I was doing cryptology, So I went over to, it's called Corey Station Center for Cryptology. It's like 2-3 miles away.
Wow, you did some code breaking, huh?
Yeah.
You said that's awesome.
And then I
man.
was also, and then the other shooting was in Hawaii. I got processed through Pearl Harbor, and then went to the
there was a
center of the
shooting
island
there,
to
too.
with my hat NSGA Kania, which is now NSGA Hawaii. So it's so weird. It's like the two American bases that I was at, the two where these things happen.
That's
Just a
insane.
coincidence, but
I
you know,
was actually in Pearl Harbor. I went to the Arizona, the memorial there.
it's
I seen
amazing,
the
right?
whole harbor. Yeah,
The oil
whole
still
harbor.
when I was there, the oil was still coming
keeps
out.
spilling out. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still spilling out. It's like they're saying it's like the soldiers because they couldn't get out.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean, the
still
Navy men.
entombed in there.
Yeah, they got entombed.
It's
There was like
crazy.
1,000 of them. And it's crazy. And it's right around December 7th. It was December 7th.
It was
on
December
Sunday,
December
early morning.
5th is when they did the shooting there too.
But now it's December 10th is the shooting. You see, like, it's all boiling down.
There's
to
been a
some
shooting
massive
every
event.
single day. It's like
Yeah.
I think there was one day there wasn't a shooting,
You know,
but something else big happened.
That's crazy.
And I
All these
predicted, if you've been
distractions.
watching this, I started, if you go back, watch my videos from a
Yeah.
week, 10 days ago, about like 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, I said it was basically like the end of November, and I said it is going to be the craziest week
Something's
leading
going
up to the
down, right?
9th. I said it's going to
Yeah.
be craziness. I said I don't know if it's going to be.
December.
I
Oh,
called
man.
it. I
Every day. it's
Stone
just-
Cold called it. Yeah.
There's gonna be so much bombshells. Yeah,
That's
it's just
I just
unreal.
said be prepared
You can't
for
make this
crazy
stuff up.
stuff. And it
Yeah.
happened. It was
It's
so
not a
predictable.
movie. It's like a movie.
Because I knew D class was on the 9th. So I knew they were gonna like just
Yeah.
spend so much of their ammo trying to create
That's
distractions.
insane.
And
Yeah,
they did. All on top of, I mean,
And it
forget
could
about
have been way worse.
and an
too, with
impeachment
that
on
much-
top of everything.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
like-
trying to, and Trump is in a rally in Pennsylvania saying how
Oh,
it
he
a
was
gross.
he was on
over-
fire, right?
He was on fire. He lit the whole stage up.
Anyone who
You
didn't
heard
see
the whole-
Trump today, he was in rare form. He did not look
Yeah,
like
he
a
was in
president
rare form.
who just found out that they
He
are
was
now,
in beast
because
mode.
they basically made the decision that they're going forward with the impeachment.
Yeah, they're gonna. It's supposed to be the quickest impeachment. The Pelosi is like, I'm gonna give the American people, and Adam Schiff, they're like, we're gonna give the American people the quickest impeachment. Trying to do this so quick that no one understands what's even going on.
Yeah,
There's so
and
much stuff going on.
you know what it is too. They're worried about the political blowback of trying to impeach a popular president who's been
Of
doing
course,
well.
Everyone knows how exposed all these people are, their political connections to, Obama, Hillary. It's nuts how, and plus on top of that, it's about to be 2020, man.
Yeah, as the election comes closer, it's just gonna get crazier and crazier and crazier. And I knew this past week was so predictable. I was like, leading up to the D class, it's gonna be friggin' bonkers. So it was, of course, and really tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow the IG actually testifies. Now who knows what's gonna come out of that?
That's nuts.
Who the guy who
Carter Page, yeah.
the one who actually wrote the FISA.
Yeah, he dropped the FISA.
Yeah, so he's going to be testifying. It's good. So a lot of people, how many people really are going to read
incredible.
it, right? Not that many people are really actually reading this thing.
Yeah.
I've read it. I've gotten up to like page 210, maybe something like that.
No way, you already got into it. Yeah, it's supposed to be
Well,
500.
yeah, it's been out a
pages
couple.
more.
Yeah, it's 400
And that's just
something
probably
pages.
1% of what's even going to be released.
Well,
in
some of
class.
it you could kind of skim through, like you can tell
Yeah.
it's just like, it's just bullshit. You just kind of skim.
For now. But
Yeah, I was skimming a bit.
Bombshells get dropped.
But yeah, 186 to 190 is interesting. I saw somebody put, I'm going to check it out later. They mentioned a page number. I got to go back and check. It was like 260 something. They talk something about children. I want to check that out. Whoever put that, thank you.
Oh, man.
If anyone's actually has the FISA, they've been reading it. If you have like a something you find interesting in it, please put the page number. I'll check it out.
I mean, Trump's been saying how he's fighting human trafficking.
But yeah, he's been fighting that and fighting it well.
Top of everything. That's what it all boils down to.
That's
they're
one of the
saying,
biggest things.
Hillary was trafficking children from like Haiti and all this stuff, and because something about like black kids and with this whole adrenochrome and like all this crazy stuff. So yeah, I mean, people are gonna wake up like there's so much bombshells dropping that so much stuff is gonna slip through and boom, it's just and they're trying to distract. So many, yeah, that was insane. And
But
there's usually
everybody
no
knows.
shootings in Jersey, like in New Jersey, so it's getting pretty bad.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, these people are not gonna just relinquish power without a fight, right?
Of course, that's what it's all about. The abuse of power. They're the ones abusing it. It's nuts, and they've been doing it for hundreds of years.
And accuse them of what you're doing. Russia this, Russia that. In reality, Hillary Clinton was the one with the uranium one deal.
Yeah, she sold the uranium for.
Yeah.
How does Hillary Clinton have access to like millions of dollars of uranium? That's nice.
Yeah.
Right? It's insane.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and they're coming out with Epstein bombshells dropping because
more on Epstein.
They were on the ranch, like Hillary
in New Mexico, Zorro.
Exactly. Yeah, they were on the Zorro ranch. Like True News, they did a whole like live thing. They
True Reporting, or True News.
True Reporting. True.
It might have been True News. Okay, yeah.
It was True News.
Yeah, because
the guys at True News.
Yeah. Interesting. Because I heard a lot. I heard like.
It actually went out there so hard to get to. It's like in the middle of a desert. And,
I heard there was some scientific stuff going on there too. Like
that whole
labs and stuff.
They probably, just like the island, they probably had like underground. They have helicopters. They have like underground tunnels. If he spends so much money on that, how much he's hundreds of, like billions. He was richer than Trump probably. Epstein.
Yeah,
and Trump,
close to
Trump
it.
knew Epstein. Like they
oh yeah,
because they were in the same circles, because of course they were both like billionaires that they knew. That's why Trump is like with Maxwell. He's trying, like they're trying to. He's obviously going to use her because she has so much intel.
And at first, they try to make it seem like Trump was down with him, but when on here, I read the court records on here. You should really, if you're into the Epstein stuff, I did a deep dive into Epstein. I mean, that was like, we really went deep. We revealed a lot of stuff about that.
Because of him, because there's so much interagencies probably communicating that there's so much dirt that's about to just come out, because it just all got covered up and people are like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, and like even the girls who all testified, they all said, yep, Trump came, but he didn't get involved with that stuff, whereas Clinton, Prince Andrew, all these other guys, they came and they were involved.
Yeah, I mean, Epstein, he said he was trying to impregnate 20 women at once, have like a nursery there in the Zorro Ranch. It's nuts what went on there. And now they have, God knows what's on, because they're in Epstein Island. I mean, there was obviously, I think someone snuck a phone in and they seen the tunnel, that room. It doesn't make sense that what's it called? The Babel with the statues and stuff, the owl, that little room.
Yeah, the temple.
Yeah, the temple.
And you know what those colors are?
Supposedly, yeah.
It's the Israeli flag.
Exactly.
And it's also a cube. Remember we were talking about the cube symbolism?
Exactly.
And it had the gold dome, which is obvious symbolism from
owl on top, yeah.
From Jerusalem, right? And I believe it's Jerusalem. And then they had the owl on top.
And it doesn't make sense.
And then the other thing, it was an owl and a phoenix.
Chair, right?
Yep.
And and supposedly there's an entrance to underground from different parts of the island. But he spent, like, when he knew, I guess, there's going to be a lot of declassification. He knew, so he buried the whole tunnel, so God knows what's under there. And you want to hear something creepy? When FBI and NYPD, actually, New York Police Department, and the FBI, they raided the island after he died, right?
Mm-hmm.
supposedly, well, that's what it said on also on whatdoesitmean.com and other like a few other places that they found like remains, like bones of little children, like scattered around the water around the island.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Zara Ranch supposedly they were hunting like children, that they're doing like some crazy like like they would, I guess, rape them or do whatever, and if they escape they would like shoot them, and there's remains like all over.
I heard that like I heard from like a very reliable source that Zorro had been overlooked. We all know about the island, how bad that is, right? It's bad
That's
news, that island. I mean, it's obvious symbology. It's crazy. I mean, you can actually see there's people who got pretty close to the island while the FBI were there and flew drones, and you can watch the drone videos.
Yeah, I heard.
They come up close. They ended up putting up stuff to cover the windows so you can see.
Whatdoesitmean.com, they had that, bro. That's where he talked about.
Yeah.
They talk about the human remains, like little skeletons in the ocean, like right, like scattered on the
Yeah.
beach.
See, I didn't hear that in particular, but like to me, that was kind of like a given. Like
That's a deep,
all
yeah,
that
of course,
underground stuff that
with all the pedophilia.
I was thinking
yeah.
there's gonna be some bodies, and they had a lot of the elite have ties to this company CEMEX, and they use cement in very weird ways. I went down that rabbit hole too.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
And what about the whole Nexium and stuff? That's some creepy.
Yeah, with the whole sex cult, and I mean we're talking. All right, as far as like powerful, you got the Rothschilds, and then you got the Rothschild, and the other real big one is
Vanderbilt.
One of them got caught in it. There was one of the elite families, like
yeah,
literally.
the 13 bloodlines.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, they were.
Off the top of my head. I know all of them.
Rothschild and no, because they have a company together too.
Yeah.
I can't think of it off the top of my head. Yeah, I can't.
And with the whole thing, like Nadler and stuff, all these Democrats, they have like stakes in these in the Ukrainian like companies. Like I forgot which. Yeah, I forgot. That's why they're trying to do this whole Ukraine and blame it on Trump instead of the ones that actually, that extort money, I guess.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Is it's actually Biden, Kerry, his stepson with the last name Hines, by the way, one of the bloodlines, legit.
Exactly.
And then from up here in Boston, Whitey Bulger's brother, who
he was FBI.
He took a different route. The brother took a different one. One brother went mob. The other brother became a state senator, became the president of UMass.
And
got into all that.
Bulger got killed in jail like this year.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. People think that Biden might have had something to do with it because he was like that. That's what I've heard. He was over there. He had him transferred or something like that.
Yeah, they're calling what's his name? Hunter Biden's gonna have to testify. They're gonna bring him in front of.
That's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be insane. They're gonna bring him out.
I mean, they have to, right? If they're trying to say that Trump did this,
and the whistleblower, it's all gonna come out. This week is gonna be insane. It's only Tuesday, and look what happened. What's happened?
Yeah.
If last week was crazy with the whole naval bases and everything. Impeachment last week, this week, just today and yesterday.
I mean, just today alone has been nuts. I'm still, and then and then when it gets really crazy like this, and there's so many distractions. All right, there's the obvious stuff. Like, yeah, they're trying to distract everybody because I really do believe more than ever, especially now with these latest Q proofs, that Q is legit, and all that research I did wasn't for nothing.
Yeah, that's some crazy. I don't know. That's
but also
with time and everything.
When you see all these distractions, you almost have to look like, what else is going on that no one's talking about? You know what I mean? Like,
of course, there could be. That's what it's supposed to be since January. Supposedly, there's military tribunals.
Yeah.
To for all these people for treason and stuff. The people behind the scenes, and some people are even saying George Bush's father. Remember, he died this year.
Yeah.
Some people say he got killed in the military tribunal because of all the
stuff. Same thing with McCain.
Yeah, and McCain McCain too. Yeah, McCain died of supposedly brain
Yeah.
cancer, right?
Yeah, like
And
I'm
it all
pretty
happened
sure.
this
I
year,
really
right?
do
George
believe
Bush,
that McCain was taken out. I do believe that McCain was actually executed. I do honestly believe that. I know that that's not what most people
Yeah.
think. I do think that he was taken out, executed.
Probably, yeah, probably military
Honestly.
strike, just like George Bush the senior.
Potentially.
All these people are
Potentially.
dying. Potentially, yeah, allegedly. I digress.
I've heard that too, though. I've heard that too. But I like out of the two, I feel like there's a lot stronger case for McCain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because there's just certain things of being an ex-president. I wonder. But I think the Bush's power died with him. He was the Bush with the true power. Him, his father,
Of course, yeah.
his sons.
That was a whole Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. But
even with Bible prophecy, it's 2020, and everything is just coming into fruition, like into reality with all
it feels that way.
stuff. It really does. Like sometimes you just wake up, like you really wake up to the world around you and what's happening. You know what I heard? I heard Elon Musk and all these elites, they already have the chip. They already had like the craziest chips inside their head, so they're already
the Neuralink.
Yeah, they're already, if they're given, supposedly they started this year giving free like clinical trials, like you could get it for free, like as a study.
The Neuralink. The actual, I mean, that's Elon Musk's thing. The Neuralink. I mean, it literally goes in your brain. It's like a computer in your brain. Yeah.
If someone drops an atom bomb or something, you think these people aren't prepared? They want to live forever. So how are they gonna live? They're all going to hell.
Could you imagine right now? I could just access anything and compute all the different possibilities and what's the optimum outcome, and just do that and just go about my life like that.
Yeah, that's what Bill Gates, probably Epstein, and
that sounds crazy, but that's a reality now.
Yeah, and all this, even the consciousness transfer, like
AI, quantum computing. This
cloning,
is legit.
Yeah.
It finds the optimum solution out of everything. And they had this study in Purdue University, where they have a sentient world simulation. And to this day, this thing is running. And there's a node for each. And you guys could think I'm crazy. Look it up right now. Sentient world simulation out of Purdue. And there's a node for each and every one of us. And it represents us as much as they can make it represent us through all the data they collect.
So everything's already basically, they got it.
Like, let's say they know what you do for work. They know all that. They make your node. They know your habits. They'll have you make your node have those habits.
That could even
and then they create events, right? To these nodes, and these nodes.
The world is a stage.
Actually, they program them to actually believe that they are in a world that they're actually going about life. It's so weird. And what they can do is they can test. This sounds crazy, but it's actually true. Yeah. And they can test different things like, okay, how will they react if we do this? And then they see how they all react. And they just keep running tests and see how they react to different things.
That could tie into Mandela effect and CERN because,
I don't for some...
And Anthony Patch and quantum computers.
Well, yeah, definitely. Anthony Patch is actually I heard about that from the sentient world simulation was Anthony Patch who talked about it.
Yeah, they're showing live footage of the journey, not live footage, recorded
footage. Yeah.
But back in there's so much.
As far as the Mandela effect, it's interesting because if quantum mechanics is real.
Look, it says kosher store targeted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was all about Jewish and Muslim.
It's live right now. Damn, you're right, bro.
Yeah.
Look, Jersey City, New Jersey, 4:02 a.m. This guy's reporting. Detective Joseph Seals was married, father of 5.
Yeah,
oh, man,
that's crazy.
That's messed up.
As soon as I saw a kosher store, I mean, this was covered thoroughly earlier.
And he probably prevented. He has 5 kids in holiday season, man. That's horrible.
But you know,
Did you know?
I hope
Did you
he
know? Like,
gets the heroes. You know, he goes out down as a hero because he
yeah,
deserves it.
he went down as a hero, bro.
Yeah.
Did you hear how many cops in New York? I actually knew one of them, the main detective. Like they were suicided, like
Oh yeah.
12 on the verge of retirement, like
Yeah.
12 NYPD detectives, like literally detectives. Because originally I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
So
I've
so,
heard
like,
that story. That story's been out there. Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, I was there.
It makes
I
no
was at the
sense.
scene. I was at the scene. Like he shot himself in the head when he was about to retire, and his name was Joseph Calabrese. He was like my one of my friends knows him because like he works in that precinct there. So like we seen him before, and one of my close friends knew him and the family, and it's like it made no sense. And then after that, like for like the next few months, and this is right around the time Epstein was getting, like getting when NYPD like got him in his private jet in Teterboro, New Jersey, and it's crazy how all this connects. And like all these NYPD cops probably knew too much, so
They did.
They probably all got suicided.
They got taken out for real. They took out a bunch of NYPD.
Imagine if you're a New York City detective, like how much you know, and some people don't want all this info coming out, especially if you're about to retire.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You might just, I mean, not might. A lot of them just
A lot
have
of
to
cops
shut their
get
mouths.
targeted now.
Knowing that their friends went down like that and they got to shut their mouth and eat it, that there's probably some
Exactly, and they eat it
incentives,
too.
and you got to live with
Can't
that.
do nothing about it. Yeah.
Either that or, hopefully if you're optimistic about the future, it's kind of like, well, actually, maybe they're down with the Q team and the revenge is on its way.
It has to be. There's definitely a plan to all this. All these alerts and all this. Oh man, these bombshells are just dropping.
I just feel like it's more proof that everything that I thought was gonna happen is actually happening.
It's like, you did like predict a lot of stuff, like listen to your live streams, and like everything, bro. Like you uncovered a lot. Like you just dig like the mind's so much info out there.
Yeah, I mean it's not we were the first ones on a lot of things, but they make it so that people can't find me. It's hard to find my shows, and I would never pop up unless you're subscribed. I would never pop up on some random person's computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
The algorithms all work against you. Like I lose subscribers each day. It's not people like I'm unsubscribed. It's just like I don't know. They unsubscribe you after a while.
The info gets out. Like the right people still, the smart people still expose all this stuff, and it's like you feel like you're like, damn, you actually feel good because you actually see through all the BS and you just uncover it, and it's really all coming together, all the pieces. So I hope trust the plan. I hope all these scumbags get locked up and Trump does another 4 years. He ripped it at the rally. Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. And you saw as soon as he started to talk about the Pfizer abuse, there was someone he got disrupted. As soon as he started mentioning, he started actually getting down to exactly what went on. He's like, "Can you believe they actually?" And he started like really like laying it out like very well, exactly what went down and how messed up it is and how they actually spied on him as president-elect and as president.
Did you see their faces? Like all their faces, like Nadler, Nancy Pelosi. Today they were talking. I seen on Fox News.
They didn't look victorious.
Yeah, they look. Oh man, Trump talked about it. He's like, they have the the embarrassment on their face because disappointment because they got nothing.
They're basically taking orders.
Of course, they're taking orders. They're in such like all these politicians, bureaucrats. They're in such deep. It's like it literally is a bottomless pit. It's like hell on earth.
Yeah.
What they with all the stuff they did and what they have to face. Like none of them want to face that stuff, so they probably want to take the chip as quick as possible. They've probably been chipped, bro. Like all these like big people, like in politics, they're probably tracked every second. Like
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
is tracked, obviously.
I wouldn't be surprised they all had ankle bracelets and not actually ankle bracelets. They
You
would
don't
have
even
they would
need an
have some
ankle
kind of
bracelet
technology way
nowadays.
beyond that. They'd
Yeah, they probably
put a
have
shot and some nano
God knows what. Yeah.
technology would be inside and track them. But
Yeah, and speaking of like all this stuff, like there's this dude Donald Marshall that talked about like cloning centers that are underground bases, like DUMBs, like deep underground
yeah,
military
DUMBs,
bases.
the underground, yeah.
And
They're all over
they're
the country.
so easy
You
to make.
can actually look up on a certain site if there's
Yeah,
any
like
DUMBs
even.
near you. I found out there was one
Oh,
right
really?
near me. Yeah.
DUMBs
I wish
near
I
you?
could say it. I would not say
Yeah.
it, but I wish I could remember it. There was a certain
If you
site.
think about it, there's the whole America's connected underground. Like they even had like not like underground tunnel type thing, but
No.
even
This is what
the
me
movies.
and when my last stream cut off.
Yeah.
The caller that talked to me when it cut off, like first he was talking about the shooting, and then once it cut off, I knew it was cut off. I just kept talking to him anyway, and he started talking about the underground tunnels in West Virginia, which is really weird because back on one of those dates when someone predicted like the end of the world, I was telling people it's not going to be the end of the world,
11-3 or something. Okay. Yeah.
One of them, yeah, and
one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Like I know. Yeah, I didn't go for that. The only date that I found that was significant, December 21st, 2012, was like that was like a crazy one.
2012, yeah,
that was crazy.
Of course, but that was Mayan prophecy.
Exactly, because it's actually been prophesized. And
a lot of stuff added up.
It was interesting. And then also the September 23rd, Revelation 12, because what happened? What happened was,
I remember that one.
You remember that? I mean, that was the most interesting because you can't deny it. Like they have these programs where you can actually look at the sky and you can see the different planets and how they're, the retrograde of Jupiter. And Jupiter is always kind of represented like Jesus, just like Saturn is always kind of represented like Satan, right?
Yeah.
And it's the only time that all these planets lined up perfectly. And as they lined up right in Virgo, where, it's the story of the woman and she gives birth. Well, inside of Virgo, Jupiter, for 9 months exactly, does a circle, a retrograde, inside of the Virgo constellation, and then comes out between her legs. And when you would look at Google Sky, they had it blacked out between her legs, the constellation. And it said a dragon would be waiting to eat her. And they had that part blanked out. A lot of people thought it was Nibiru. Like Brian Knight, I don't know if he's still in here.
Yeah.
He does a lot of stuff about that.
Something going on in the constellations.
And I believe
the Orion.
It was a sign. Yeah, I really think that was a true sign because it actually happened. It actually was in the sky. We had the technology to know about it. You just have to be watchmen.
Yeah, you want to hear some crazy? You know how the pyramids, the 3 Giza pyramids,
they line up
with
Orion.
It's
crazy.
They line up with Orion.
Yeah.
Listen to this: the Twin Towers. They lined up with Orion, and the one that replaced them, the Freedom Tower.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
The Freedom Tower. It's laid out just like the Giza pyramids, and it's just exactly the same. The Orion thing, and with the whole like symbology of what's it called? The whole symbology of the ritual going down. Remember I told you like
what is the name for the 2 towers that when you walk into, like, for instance, like I believe they're at Freemason buildings that it's some satanic
the lodges. Well, the lodges, yeah, they have the pillars.
The 2 pillars, yeah. Baal and something.
The Baal, I forgot.
I forget the names. Richie from Boston always talks about it though. And then that's kind of like what it represented, like a twin system and Baal and something. The names for them, and then they turn into one, and it's almost like a DNA, like the way they made it. It kind of like twists up like a DNA thing.
And the Freedom Tower. Yeah,
it's always kind of been very interesting looking at that, and even like the Statue of Liberty, which she stands on a hexagon. which is
She
really.
does,
Oh
yeah.
no, an
And
8-point
some people
star, not a
say
hexagon. An 8 points. 8 points. Yeah.
mind blowing. And the crown is like just like in the Bible, it says like the crown, and it's like the seven things. So it's like the 7 different nations, and
It's
yeah, how
crazy, man.
and
Yeah.
supposedly it's like a trans. I don't know. Some people say it's supposed to be like a transvestite, or like a. Some people say it's a trans. Some people say it was like the prostitute. What's her name? Ishtar. Ishtar is basically like the Statue of Liberty. So she was like an ancient.
I've
Egyptian
seen that. I've
goddess.
seen that somewhere. Yeah. Yep. I've seen that
So
somewhere.
yeah,
Yep.
it's the whole symbology of New York City. That's where it'll start.
I know that
the whole
ancient Egypt has a
9/11.
lot to do with a lot of this stuff. It's significant.
Yes, it's like New Babylon in the Revelations, like the first Revelations. Even it says right away, like New Babylon, and like everyone's.
Do you
gonna
think
trade
that's
with
us?
The beast system.
Do you think
What?
New Babylon is the U.S.?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like the
it's the
whore
beast
of
system,
Babylon, and something's supposed to happen
the
to
New
the
World
Babylon?
Order. Yeah, the New World Order. I mean, if it all leads down to World War III, and New York City just gets destroyed, I mean, I think that's where it would start. If World War III starts, it wouldn't start somewhere in like, look, because they bombed the crap out of Syria, right? They destroyed the whole Syria, the whole country, and it's right by Israel too. Israel's a little country. It's like a few miles. They destroyed a country right next to Israel, right? And World War III didn't start. But if
Malak
they would,
and Baal. That's someone just said it. Malak and Baal. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, the twin,
probably, yeah.
the twin, and they become one.
Towers, yeah,
And
then
I
it
think,
turns into one.
and that was like you
That
said,
was code
a
for the beast
ritual
system.
for all of us. We all witnessed a ritual.
Yeah, it was a traumatizing. Like no one's ever seen that on live
Fragments the
television.
brain. Yep.
And
We all
got
remember
a
where we
guilt trip.
were. Yeah. Richie had
Yeah,
a
we
great
all-
stream on that stuff. Yep.
That's insane. Like, yo, me and you just connected so many dots on so
For
many
real.
levels. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I think we both saw Richie's stream, and then we both know what we already
connected
know.
everything.
Yeah, and
It's just the more dots you connect, then just connects to everything. So we live in a very interesting time.
Yeah, there's a something that Anthony Patch always says. You can't separate the physical from the spiritual. So
that's definitely true.
all this
Just
stuff
like
we see
armor of
going
God,
on, there's a spiritual aspect to it.
spiritual warfare, spiritual battle. Of course, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but of spirit. Spiritual
And
things all around
principalities,
us.
yeah.
Principalities, wicked things in wicked places, in high places, bureaucracy of. That's where it all goes down, and the whole Constitution. They're trying to bring it down with the false flags. They're trying to take guns away from people, but that's only going to start World War. That's not World War III. I mean,
like a civil
like
war.
A civil war.
Yeah, that's what I worry about. You try to take away the guns from
scary,
down
yeah.
south, that's not going to go well. Hey, I want to read you something. There's another bear. I know her very well. She's great. Sure Bear, and she's writing. You guys are right. Hiding something, and the Draco star system to devour Jupiter, the king planet. She's the one who also mentioned Malak and Baal, and then she said Ishtar is Shiva's feminine half.
Exactly. Yeah, Shiva, Ishtar. That's like that they worship her as the fertility goddess. It's
That's
just
interesting.
insane, everything that's happening. Yeah, brother. Look, I'm gonna stay in the chat because I can't really talk anymore. Matt, but thank you for having me, bro. It's great
okay.
talking to.
Of course.
Share Bear. She wanted to call in. I seen in the chat.
Yeah,
so,
I just saw what she was writing, and I was like, wow, she's on top of it. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, because I don't wanna take. I already took up Matt's time, and I can't even talk anymore.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and Share Bear, yeah, she said she wanted to call in, and I kind of like skipped the line because I had to call you back because my phone died.
Yeah, I figured.
I
called you back, and it went straight to voicemail, so I could tell.
Yeah, I gotta charge it, but you got my number, man.
Yep.
My name is Kirill. My name is K. Kirill.
All right, cool.
Call me K.
Yeah, definitely. All right, stay in touch, brother.
Matt.
All right.
Be good, brother. Yeah, we'll talk
Are you
tomorrow.
you subscribed?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in the chat though.
right.
I just have to charge my phone.
All right,
Be
brother.
good,
Take
man.
care.
Great conversation.
Of
and
course.
Thank you so
Amazing.
much. Thank you
Amazing.
for everything you do, man. For your service,
Yeah.
through everything, military service, being in the Navy that you did. You know,
Yeah.
I had so many of my friends. You know, few friends in the service. It was tough stuff with everything going on. So I always pay respects to
Thank you.
men who serve. I always want to serve in the military and get the chance. But God bless you, man. God bless you and
I
your
appreciate
family.
that. Thank you so
And
much.
keep digging, man. We're definitely gonna talk.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna cover a lot more.
I'll never stop. You know.
Yeah, let's share Bear. You take over about the whole Drake, everything. I want to hear this. I want to hear someone except myself. So.
All right, brother.
All right, Matt.
All right, thank you.
Man.
Great
Happy
phone call.
holidays.
Great job.
Stay safe.
I just want to say, great call, great conversation. All right.
All right.
Take care, man.
Yeah. Okay. Take care, brother. Bye.
I say this all the time. I have one of the most intelligent audiences on YouTube. I'm telling you. Extremely intelligent audience here on Red Pill Dispensary. The phone line's open. We just got into like a whole bunch of stuff, right? This thing. All right. So we just got into like a whole bunch of stuff. You can't separate the physical from the spiritual. That's something I always learned from Anthony Patch. Did you really want to call in, Tribble? Yeah, please. Do you need the number? God bless Siberian Bear. It's funny with the bears. I'm curious as to what happened to that plane that disappeared going towards Antarctica. Because it's like a huge story, but with all these stories going on at once, it's one of the lesser talked about stories that's going on. Let me see. So yeah, I'll just wait on a call. And while I do that, I can check that out. Plane disappears because unfortunately, the as far as like screen sharing, I need to find a good. I need to figure out what's the best way to screen share on a Chrome operating system, a Chromebook, because so far what I got is not working well. Chilean plane en route to Antarctica disappears with 38 on board. I can read you this. So and that's what I thought. It was a military plane with 38 people on board, has disappeared en route to Antarctica, Chile's Air Force says. The C-130, now that's a big plane. You know, the C-130, it has like the multiple propellers on each wing. It's a transport aircraft. Like the Navy SEALs will go up in those things with all their gear. Things are huge. So I wonder, what was it doing? Why is it going to Antarctica? We all know there's secret bases there, right? But the Chilean military, the Chilean Air Force is going there. Interesting. So it goes on to say the C-130 Hercules. Now this thing's no joke. I mean, and the technology on a C-130 Hercules is amazing. So the fact that it's missing on its way from Chile, which is, I mean, I'm assuming it's Chile goes basically kind of wraps around and then it goes right to the bottom of South America. I'm assuming that's where it took off. I mean, why would it take off anywhere north from that? It's going to do it from the southernmost point. And Chile happens to, that's their land, the southernmost point. A lot of really weird stuff in Chile too. Chile, Peru, as far as like when you, from a bird's eye view, you look down, you could like see the monkey that's like built into the actual Earth, but you can only see it from like really, really high from bird's eye view. Same thing with like a serpent, all these different things you can see, literally on the ground, that have been there supposedly naturally for forever. So it's like, how is that possible? There's some crazy stuff there. So I'll continue with that. So the C-130 Hercules. Let me show that. Hopefully this mic is good. Okay. The C-130 Hercules transport aircraft took off from Punta Arenas at 16:55 local time. Oh. You know what? I'm going to call you right back, Arkansas. Right back. Let me just read this one quick story. If that's you, sure, bet I'm going to take you right now. Let me just read this one quick story. And operators lost contact. So it takes off at 16:55 local time. And operators lost contact at 18:13. So after about an hour and 18 minutes. Those missing including 17 crew and 21 passengers. Are they all military? So crew? Okay, all right. They were traveling to provide local, this might be BS, but logistical support to a military base on Antarctica's King George Island. A search and rescue mission is underway. What do we know about the Air Force General Eduardo Mosquera told local media that the plane did not activate any distress signal, which is odd. He said the plane, whose pilot had extensive experience, which you would think with a C-130 Hercules. I mean, it's like the biggest transport plane you could that they would probably have in their whole Air Force. It's huge. And to not send a distress signal, I mean, it's very weird. This is a really weird story. So whose pilot had extensive experience might have been forced to touch down on water. But he would have hit the distress signal or said something, mayday, whatever they would do. On an Air Force statement that the plane was about 450 miles into a 770-mile journey when contact was lost, placing it within the Drake Passage. The Air Force published a map of the plane's last known location on Twitter, and they show it. If you go on, you guys can probably find it. I wish I could screen share this, but basically, it's it lost halfway from Chile to Antarctica. It lost that's the way it looks on the map, although the way it's explained is a little bit different. The way that explained in this article. The Drake Passage is a body of water connecting the South Atlantic and South Pacific Oceans and is known for treacherous weather conditions. But Chile's Air Force said local weather was good at the time of the plane's disappearance. It also said the plane would have enough fuel to keep airborne until 0040. So that's well beyond when it lost contact. I mean, it had enough plane for basically, what did they say? It was 18, 13. So it could have just like flown around for 5 more hours, 5, even maybe 6 more hours potentially. Who was on board? 3 of the passengers were Chilean soldiers. 2 were civilians employed by the engineering and construction firm in Procer, who were going to carry out work on the military base. 1 was a student at Magallanes University, and the remaining 15 passengers were members of the Air Force, an official said. The C-130 is also staffed by 17 crew members. The Air Force has published a list of all those on board. What of the rescue effort? Air Force General Francisco Torres has said the search of the plane has begun immediately after it had failed to arrive at the military base in Antarctica. 4 ships and 10 planes from Chile are taking part in the search operation. Uruguay and Argentina have also each sent a plane to help locate the missing C-130. An initial overflight of the area where communication was lost failed to yield any sign of the missing plane. Rescuers are currently searching inside a 60-mile radius from the last point of contact. What has been the reaction? President Sebastian Pinera said in a tweet that he was dismayed by the loss. He canceled his planned trip to Argentina to attend the swearing-in of President-elect Alberto Fernandez and instead went to Cerrillos Air Base in the capital, Santiago, to monitor the search along with the Interior Minister Gonzalo Blumel. Chile's Defense Minister Alberto Espina has traveled to Punta Arenas. So very, very weird situation. So yeah, you want to call in now. I just wanted to get that out. Sorry about that. But very, very odd situation. Because I heard that earlier today. And they still, there's no sign of this thing. And it's heading to a base in Antarctica. Yeah. Oh, how you doing, Mark Nine? Good to see you here. It's late. Crazy, big, crazy phone calls. But you know what? Actually, I'll call you back if you want. Person who called in, I can just call you back. And sorry about that. I just wanted to get that story, the basics of that. Hello? Hello? Hey, do you want to go live? All right. All right, it's the Red Pill News Dispensary. All right, so who's this?
What's up, everybody?
Excuse me?
Sherry.
Oh, how you doing? Is this Cher?
Hey, it's Sherry.
Oh, nice.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm all right, man. Yeah, this is Cher Bear.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty good tonight. Just hanging around.
So I was reading some of the stuff you're putting in chat. You seem to be on top of that. You knew a lot about that stuff. You know about the
Right.
the twin
Very right.
Baal and Moloch and the whole concept. Would you
Well,
call
my
it?
dad used to be a Mason.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. And he's passed away now, so I learned a little bit about that while he was alive.
Yep. Was he a high degree Mason? Because I know there's a lot of Masons, but they're actually pretty good people. I mean, they're not at that high level where supposedly, I mean, in my opinion, there's definitely some stuff that's some hidden knowledge. Now, I don't know how comfortable you are answering that question, but
Well, I don't know how I'm aware he was, but I knew he was into some pretty crazy stuff back in the day. Let me turn this down so I can hear you good. I'm trying to watch the chat, and there we go. That's better. There we go. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, cool. I had to take everything off because I was getting a feedback off my headphones and everything. Didn't work out that way, though. Yeah, all that stuff that you were talking about a while ago about the star constellation.
Yes.
Weirdest shit happened to me that night, and my mom got to witness it. This dude came out from nowhere and told me, well, we were observing it to begin with, and told me I wouldn't miss it for the world. Walked around the corner, and I looked around the corner, and the dude was gone.
No, this is September 23rd.
Uh-huh.
That particular September 23rd. Wow. Interesting. And he just So he just came out of nowhere and said something to you, and then
He came out of nowhere
just disappeared.
and just disappeared. And I remember what he had on. He had on a white shirt and blue jeans. Gone.
Huh.
I've seen some weird shit since Trump's been elected, and I don't know that I should have seen it or it was just trying to manifest itself in front of me. But I think we're in the last days, man, and Trump's just a sign of the judgment that's fixing to come upon all of us if we don't get our shit together.
Yes.
And not only that, people say they don't like Trump and this and that and the other, yada, 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 yada. But if they read the Bible in Revelations, it mentions about the 7 Trumps. How many do you have that's with him that could be president? On up. Quite a bit. His whole family. So, when the last Trump sounds, whether it be exposing or it actually be an actual trumpet.
Yeah, I always found that interesting too. I always found that interesting, the whole trumpet thing.
Yeah, and I also looked up his lineage too when he announced his candidacy.
From Germany.
And did you know he's a member of the Christ family?
I think some of his family's from Germany, some's from Scotland, no? Isn't that?
Germany and Scotland, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, you got the Freemasonry out of Scotland, you got the Bohemian, like the Bohemian Grove type of stuff that comes out of Germany, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, Bavarian. And what did you say? His lineage goes back to what family?
The Christ family.
Kraft, like the
Christ, Christ, Christ.
Oh.
Yeah. It just hit me when he announced his candidacy, and something just told me, Sherry, look this shit up. It's very important. Well, I got to looking at the names, and I had like a holy shit moment. And I seen the names Elizabeth Christ and Frederick Christ Trump. I don't think the last name Trump was actually the actual name. I think it's a surname because a lot of people had to escape the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And I got to looking at that, and I was like, and his mother's name was Mary Ann Magdalene. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes.
The family names are kind of passed down through the generations. Well, my first thought was John.
So his mother, Mary Ann Magdalene. Really? Wow. That's wow.
Yeah. Well,
that's crazy.
John
Sounds like Mary Magdalene,
way,
obviously, right?
Yeah, John made the way for Christ when he walked the face of the earth, and real name is Yeshua.
Yeah.
That's his actual name.
Yeah.
Because if you call him Jesus, you're actually referring to Zeus. Now, how do you say this? God actually walked the face of the earth, but who was he? They called him Yahweh, but calling him Jesus is referring to Zeus. Was he the number one creator, or was he one of the fallen angels?
Yep. Makes sense. It's a fallen angel. I think maybe that whole story could have came from that.
Yeah.
With the multiple gods, they're all part of those 1/3 that fell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, what I was saying, man, it's just.
And Zeus, amongst them, the lightning bolt, Lucifer was like the light, right?
The lightning that fell from heaven.
Yeah. So, there's a correlation there with Zeus for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Have you been watching any of these folks that are talking about the Anunnaki and all this other kind of crap? Well, I don't call it crap, but anyways, it's very interesting of how everything's just kind of coming together.
Mm-hmm. With the Anunnaki?
Yeah, we're actually seeing some of the old Eastern religion in our government. Old Eastern religion mean Egypt, Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Mm.
we're seeing all that happen right now. It's a buttload of information to try to absorb all at once to wrap your head around. But, I mean, it's just like, it's crazy.
Well, yeah, I know that for sure. There's so much symbology with the whole. There's something to the ancient Egyptian for sure, right?
Yeah.
And the New Babylon. I mean, it sounds like the United States of America, or maybe even just like New York City or something like that, right? Doesn't it kind of
You took the
ring?
words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's New York City.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because what does New York City have going on for it right now? It's got the LGBT movement. It's got the Satanists running around.
The UN.
Yes, and the UN. Big time UN.
Yeah.
And
that's
isn't the European Union up there somewhere too?
Well, I mean, they definitely have offices and stuff because I mean that's where the UN's out of, is New York City. So like every country would have, I'm assuming, something. I don't know anything about the EU though. I'm not sure. I know they're more like out of like I think it's Brussels.
Yeah.
They're like headquarters and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know, yeah.
Oh, I seen Siberia say, did you know Donald Trump's uncle John Trump knew Nikola Tesla?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
Trump
find that fascinating. I find that fascinating. Him and Prescott Bush, I believe. You know, they both knew Tesla very, very well. And to the point where I guess like Prescott Bush had taken some of his technology, and this is when Tesla was like in the basement of the New Yorker building, the building in New Yorker, and that was actually ran by nuclear power down there. He ran the whole thing on I believe it was nuclear power. In the basement, they had this like crazy, and he could run it off nuclear power. He did all his tests down there. Yeah, it's amazing with Nikola Tesla. That's when I ever heard that, and then I looked back and I was able to prove it. And his father, Fred Trump, right? And he had his connections with Tesla, and then his connections with Prescott Bush, and Prescott Bush's connections with Tesla. It's like, how can that be? You know, it just proves this whole bloodline thing. You know, and I think Trump, I like to think he's for the people. And, you know, when he kind of turned on them and said, you know, I gave money to you and you, the head of ABC, head of this, head of that. Well, the head of ABC would really be Disney. Disney is ABC. But, you know, head of NBC, head of CBS, you know, that was amazing. You know, there's some people who think that it's all a show. And, you know, we're all getting tricked. I don't think so. It's pretty obvious to
it might be a little bit of show, but when it all boils down to it, we got this election coming up next year.
Yeah.
And
you can tell.
Term is really going to show who he's for, you know?
Yeah, I think it's for the people.
Nikola Tesla thing goes, I think we're going to see some of that technology come in. But it says in the last days the technology will increase. Well,
knowledge will increase, and I mean knowledge definitely has increased. I mean that's for sure, right? I mean it's unbelievable.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's like unbelievable. How I mean that line alone, the knowledge will increase. It'll be like the days of Noah. In the days of Noah, they were doing all kinds of like crazy crossbreeding, and God put an end to it with the flood, right?
Yeah.
And now they're doing all this crazy crossbreeding, except merging man with machine.
Right. And what else does he say? He's going to do in the last days, he's going to destroy the earth with fire.
Yes.
So we don't have long. You know, if the atheists and stuff are out there saying, well, this don't exist, this don't exist, this don't exist. Well, if it doesn't exist, then we have nothing to lose
Yeah.
but our lives, you know. But if it does exist, we're going somewhere a little bit better than this shithole. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? What really like gets me is for people to really feel like it doesn't exist, or what you do is when you look at the elites and what they believe, they are deep into it. I'm talking like, the ones behind the scene, like the Rothschilds and things like that. They
Right.
are so deep into that satanic crap. Why? They have all that secret knowledge that we don't have. They have.
You there?
Yeah. I'm just like all freaked out, man. I think it was a plowing snow, and all I heard was. I was like, "What is that?" Ah, all
Oh,
right.
y'all got snow up there, eh?
Well, I guess it's been snowing since I've been talking. So I guess when I spoke to the other guy in New York, yes, I guess it is snowing. I didn't look. I just assumed it wasn't. I assumed it would take. Usually, it takes like 5 hours after you guys till we get it. But yeah, anyways, wow, that just freaked me out. I think that was a plow. But yeah, you look, and the elite, they believe in this. They damn well believe in this. The symbology is everywhere. You can't put on a kid's show or watch TV or a movie without the obvious symbolism of the goat and the owls and things like that. They just so much the serpent. It's everywhere you look nowadays. The dragon, all of that. The symbolism's everywhere, and it's not for no reason. And sometimes it's funny. It's like in some movies, like the villain. If you really look at it, you could see it as the villain representing Jesus. But that's how they kind of flip it, and they make kind of Lucifer seem like, this great thing that kind of, wanted man to have certain knowledge, and God didn't want us to have that knowledge. And you see how they could try to flip that and try to make it sound like, this Satanism stuff is a good thing, because that's definitely what the elites are into. They
Right.
they but sometimes but then at the same time, it does say in the Bible, because I get worried sometimes. I'm like, if I'm being honest, right? If I get worried sometimes, I do so much research. I'm like, what's driving me to try to learn all this? Is that not a good thing? I mean, that's kind of what got people in trouble in the first place, was that thirst for knowledge, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it says, be as wise as a serpent and as innocent as a dove. And I try to be that. The innocent part, I try, I honestly try. Like there's been this one particular thing. I've been holding back information. I could basically bury this one YouTuber, but I kind of hold back a little bit. You know what I mean? It's just like just to do that I don't know. It would affect a lot more than him.
Well,
Just little things like that, and it makes me think like, I don't know. I struggle with it. Because I haven't been given that same mercy. When the shoe's on the other foot.
right.
So
I think we all try to see the good in people, but when they throw their evil at us and try to push things off on us, we can't take it anymore. It can't happen.
yeah.
I've had that done to me here recently, and had to flip script flipped on me and everything, and with my job and everything, and it's unbearable and unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a never-ending damn battle that I have to go through in my life to deal with all this stuff too. But yet they want to scream and holler and get all butthurt when you call their asses out on their bullshit, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to make of it anymore.
Someone in comments wrote something in relation to what you were talking about with the 7 Trumps. Isn't there 7 of them, right? Yes, 7.
There's 7 of them, but 8 with his ex-wife. 8 or 9 with his ex-wife.
Yeah, so they
but
wouldn't count.
The ones he's got kids with.
They wouldn't count, right? It would just be the wife now and the children, right?
Right.
And the last Trump is Barron Trump. And they had that, they like, how they have that book. It like blew my mind when I saw it. The book about Barron Trump. You ever see that?
Yeah, I seen that. And
It's
I seen
friggin' nuts. It was written like over 100
the
years ago.
last president too.
Yeah, that's the name of the book, The Last President, right?
And funny how those things were written years and years ago. I don't know how old the books are, but that's crazy.
How anyone know exactly? I think it was like over 100 years ago, like 100 years, something like that. It was written like 1900 something or 1890 something, like I believe about 100 years ago. I believe. I know it was a long, long time ago, and it was The Last President and Barron Trump. Was that the character's name or the author's name? I forget. But
that was the character's name.
The character's name was Barron
Yeah.
Trump, the last president. So yeah, the last, and also as you said, the last Trump.
Have you seen that kid here lately?
Huh?
Have you seen a picture of that kid here lately?
No.
Good Lord, it's been 4 years. Well, it's fixing to go on 3.5 years since Trump's been in office. That kid has hit a growth spurt somewhere because he looks like a full-grown man now.
Oh yeah, I mean the Trump. He's people don't realize he's tall. I mean, maybe people do realize, but I don't think they realize how tall he is. Like, he towers over the average man. He's like what, 6'4"?
Yeah, and his son's probably a couple more inches taller than he is right now.
And yeah, because I mean, out of all his wives, Melania is like, we're talking perfect DNA. You know what I mean? Like beautiful, tall. Perfect genetics. And Trump's tall, and he has beautiful kids, beautiful daughter. So this kid's gonna be tall, strong. He's quiet, he seems quiet. Sometimes a good thing, sign of intelligence sometimes. So I don't know. It's very interesting.
Hi, Becca. It's me, Cher Bear.
Oh yeah, Becca. It's Cher Bear.
That's crazy. But you were talking about the height and stuff, and I thought about something else. Have you ever heard of the Tall Whites?
Can you repeat that? What's that? The what?
Have you ever heard of the Tall Whites?
Tall whites?
Mm-hmm. Supposed to be from alien origin and all that kind of stuff.
Oh no, I heard like the grays and the tall, not the tall whites. No.
I think they're Pleiadians or something.
Oh, the Pleiadians or Pleiadians?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
It's crossed my mind so many times, and I've questioned it about, Trump's family, the people he's been married to over the years and had kids by, and especially this last one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their height kind of makes me think, are they from another planet or something? Because they're really nice and they don't act like people from here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Trump has this tremendous energy about him.
Oh,
I mean, just watching him tonight, he does that thing lately where he hits the side of the podium. I mean, he's just like, he's just like knocking point after point, and he's just like, he's in it. He is in it. He is fired up. I mean, they're convinced he's like hooked up on Adderall or something. But eventually you crash. He doesn't crash. He's just go, 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 go,
No, that man's got some stamina for real.
Yeah, and that's what you need for that job.
You don't need no Viagra or Geritol for the shit that he's doing. Whew.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for a good while too, man.
Yep. And especially in this day and age, there's been nothing ever like this presidency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's never been a president who's had to endure what he's had to endure, or a president who's existed, and Obama got a taste of it, but it's worse now than ever with the internet and the Internet of Things, and all the crap going on. It must be so difficult. I mean, every single night show, every single piece of news, it's Trump, Trump, Trump. I mean, the president's always the big deal, but I feel like the president now plays a bigger role in people's lives than it ever has. Like, he rents more space in people's heads than, whether you like him or not, than any president ever has in people's heads. Although from what history says, Lincoln was so controversial. It was kind of like that back then too. But they didn't have social media and all this stuff where it could just be continuous, nonstop talk, and you know. So it's a lot. It's a lot on one man, and he takes it and he like uses it as fuel or something. I mean, just seeing him tonight on the day that they announced the official impeachment, he's just going. He's tapping the side of the thing. I mean, tapping the side of the podium, and he was just fired up. It was great to see. I mean, he had to feel good because they finally declassed. He's been waiting for this declass for a while. It's like kind of the beginning of the end for a lot of his political rivals, and kind of proving to everybody. I mean, when he first said that Obama was spying on him, everyone was laughing, making jokes about it. It ain't that funny no more.
No.
It's a reality.
That playboy is finna get caught up with too. He just don't know it yet.
Who, Obama?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's trying to. I always thought that the next thing for him would be whatever they call the head of the UN.
The Secretary of the UN?
Something like that. Secretary General?
Something like that.
Something like that, right? If anyone knows. But yeah, so but Secretary General, and I always thought that he'd go for that job. And I mean, since we've kind of gone out there on this show, right? This show's been out there, right? So it's like, if we are in end days, well, then who's the Antichrist, right? He would have to have some Jewish in him, I believe, correct? He would be multicultural.
Right.
Jewish, Muslim, white. He'd be multicultural, I believe. There's
two that I've got my eyes on.
Okay.
And I've had my eyes on them for a minute since Trump got in office.
Okay.
And that's at Emmanuel Macron and Obama.
And Macron, really, because you know what they said, it would come from the east or something, right? From the east and the west or something.
Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Roman rule.
But to what perspective, right? It's from the perspective of the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
Or, no, he'll come from the west. I feel. Oh, what's it say in the Bible? Man, I forget. The beast, and something about the 7 heads. Is there 7 in the EU? I forget. I seen some show and someone broke it down very well. Why Macron would make sense. But you said Macron and I'm sorry.
And Obama.
And Obama, yeah. Obama's always been the one that I thought potentially, even when he was the president. I thought like there was some potential to that.
Put your eyes on Erdogan from Turkey, or however the heck you say his name.
Erdogan. Yeah, isn't there something about Turkey that is significant to the Antichrist, correct?
I think so. Syria, maybe?
Syria, yeah, that whole area, it's very significant to end days. The fall of Damascus.
Let me think real quick. The cradle of civilization over there?
Yes, I believe so, yeah, because that's where the east meets the west. Istanbul, right? To the east meets the west, right?
Yeah, and you got those 4 rivers that meet up at the top and run down.
And that's Syria or Turkey?
That's between Syria, Israel, Turkey. I don't have a map in front of me right now.
No, but that makes sense. Yeah, it makes
They're
sense.
all right there together.
Makes
in
sense.
Iran.
Makes sense.
And you got the Golan Heights right there in the middle of all of them.
Yeah, that very
You
extremely
got
hole
Armageddon
in.
Field right there
yeah.
with the Golan Heights.
Yeah, which is
And
in
you see all
contention
them
right
gathering
now.
up right now.
And the Golan Heights is actually the piece of land that Israel got their eyes on right now.
Yep. And in all actuality, it's theirs.
And the last thing, literally the last piece of legislation that Obama signed was that Israel could not build, make it some. It was worded. It was like build upon any settlements at all.
Yeah.
And then Trump reversed that just recently. And that ever since he reversed that, Israel's been having their eyes on the Golan Heights.
It makes me wonder what this peace deal is going to be all about.
Why? What peace deal?
You know, the deal of the century, the peace deal that Jared Kushner is involved off in.
Well, I mean, you know what they say, that they'll basically proclaim peace.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the person will do. They'll go into the temple and declare themselves God, and right before that they'll declare peace, and then everything basically from there is downhill.
There's been one that's done that already.
Yeah. Who was talking
You know
about?
which one it is?
I think Richie from Boston was talking about this today.
Yeah, you know which one that was? It went into, it was some kind of temple, and
Oh, wait,
said he
wasn't
was
it Obama?
like Roman God.
It was Obama, right? He read from Proverbs, and he read something that but maybe it wasn't the exact temple that you might be talking about. But Obama did something very similar to that. One of the verses he read was basically proclaiming that in a way, somehow. Richie broke it down very well. But
right.
What are you talking about?
Makes you wonder how many sons Satan actually does have.
Is that what are you talking about when Obama read from Proverbs? Or are you talking about something else?
When Macron sat in his seat and said he would rule like a Roman god.
Oh,
you
he
remember
did?
that?
No, not at all.
Like Jupiter? Well, look at his name.
Wow. So he said that?
Yeah, he did. As a matter of fact, there's even a picture of him somewhere on the internet that I seen a while back that had that caption below him and him sitting in a weird looking throne-like thing. But all these guys have one thing in common.
What's
That's
that?
George Soros.
Interesting.
They all are his puppets.
Yeah.
So we know who the puppet master is and who's pulling the string.
Yeah. Yeah, George Soros, definitely.
But I've seen that dude on a beach with his wife, and I'm telling you, he's got a young body and an old head.
Huh. Really?
Yeah, it looks
George
like they
Soros?
actually switched his head out. Obama's got a head wound too on the back of his head that's got an alien on it.
Are you talking about like the vein worm thing or the?
Something similar.
Oh, all right. Because they always make a big deal out of like that. Even like the official painting has like this, like it almost looks like a sperm thing. It's like on the side of his head, but he would always have that nerve too. You could always see.
Yeah,
it.
and there's an actual picture of the back side of his head.
Wow.
Running around the internet, and it's him.
It's interesting. Huh. And the backside of his head, what? It just had like an
It's
illusion.
got what is it? It's got a gray alien on the back of his head.
Wow. No,
I
I
think
never
there's
seen
more
that.
deception going on than what's beneath the eye, because they got a lot of deep fakes running around too. And it's hard to tell what's real and what's fake these days because of that shit.
You know, and then Siberian Bear just said that Jared Kushner owns the 666 building in Manhattan.
Mhm.
That's crazy. Hey, Kushner, he's Jewish, right? But that could be a potential. And he owns the 666 building in Manhattan. That's crazy.
Well, he might be an advocate, but he ain't the Antichrist.
Yeah, he's so quiet too.
And he's married to a woman.
Oh, so the Antichrist would do gay
Yep.
stuff, right?
Yep.
Well, they claim that, you know, Michelle's really Michael, you know. I've seen claims of that. I know that's like out there. I don't know if I'd like truly believe it, but I've seen like an Ellen video where I'll tell you, after seeing that Ellen video with, you know, Michelle dancing, it looked like something was.
I've seen that shit too.
That's crazy. I mean, I was questioning it at that point. I'm like, whoa, what was
She
that?
was swinging it.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
And I was
what
like,
is that
wow,
in there?
man. And I got to looking real closer. I said, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing against gay people.
Could you
Man, don't try to
imagine?
push that shit off on me. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, could you imagine if that's the case? Because
And
also because he messed up a couple times and he goes, you know, sometimes Michelle, like on multiple different occasions. I seen a whole video, a whole compilation of him saying, Michelle, or even one time he didn't even correct himself. A lot of weird stuff. A lot of weird. That now stuff like that. Just because Obama, I automatically kind of dismiss it, just because it just sounds so crazy. It's like, people hate him. He was the president. They're gonna say anything. Oh, his wife's a man. Okay. But then when I saw that Ellen video, I was like, what is that? You know, like he
right?
was swinging.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, I'll entertain it. I deep down, I don't think so. But you know what? If you can't separate the physical from the spiritual, and if he was to be the Antichrist, that would make perfect sense, right?
Yeah, and well, between the two that I'm talking about, Macron and him, Macron's wife looks like a man too. She's got an Adam's apple from hell that just sticks out.
Oh, really? I would think
Look
she
at
would
her real
have.
close.
He would have a beautiful wife. He's a good-looking guy. Women love him. I figured he would have a beautiful wife.
Yeah. But see, you could tell the men from the women because the body structure.
Yeah.
I did a little anatomy back in my college days.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You think maybe, huh?
oh yeah,
Wow.
there's no doubt in my mind.
Interesting.
It's like I can smell a mouse from a mile away, you know,
Yeah.
and something don't smell right here.
It is interesting when you start thinking about it, because it has to be someone on the world stage, right? It would have to be
Exactly.
someone with that type
It
of
just
influence.
automatically pops up.
And the
No
thing
questions
is,
asked.
with this Pope, this is what's really intriguing, right? So all that, I don't know, right? I can't say that Michelle's Michael. I can't honestly sit here and say I believe that is the case, but I'll entertain it just because I've seen what I saw. But what is undeniable is the Pope potentially being the Black Pope, right? Because he replaced a Pope who didn't die, which, you know, is exactly what's supposed to happen, right? The Pope,
Right.
he'd be an illegitimate Pope. He replaced a Pope that didn't die, and
False prophet.
yeah, false prophet, and there would be the false prophet and the what was the other thing? The the witnesses, right?
The witnesses will be at the Wailing Wall.
It's very
They'll
interesting.
kill them and they'll lay there for 3 days and they'll resurrect.
It's very interesting. Because you got to think, look at his age. So it would have to be in his lifetime if what we're saying is what the case is, right? Let's say it is end days. Let's say this is the last pope. I mean, when you look at like the papal throne, that is straight up demonic.
Right.
With all the, it looks like hell. I think it is supposed to represent hell, if I'm not. Oh no, I think it's supposed to represent like rising, but I don't know. It looks like hell, like that wooden too, like the pagan wooden kind of structure to it.
That Game of Thrones looking shit.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like it's unbelievable. I wish I could pull up screen share right now, but if you guys look up the papal throne, PAPAL throne, look it up. It looks straight up demonic. It looks like these like people trying to they're like in hell or something. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that. When I saw that, I didn't even know it was the Pope's throne. And I was like, that's demonic. And then I found out it was the Pope's throne. I'm like, what? I mean, that was years ago when I found that out. And that was like a huge red pill moment for me. So with this Pope, he became Pope. The last Pope didn't die. How is that? It's kind of shady. It makes you think. So I don't know.
No, I got something interesting for you.
All right.
Okay, that papal throne, is that in that building that when it's blown up and looked at from afar on the inside looks like a serpent?
Oh, I don't know if it's in that building, but I know
Two
exactly.
eyes and
Yeah,
it's got
yeah.
scales and everything.
Exactly. I know. It's legit, like a serpent. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. The two eyes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
freaky shit.
that is freaky. Yeah. I think isn't that the UN? Is that the Vatican? Is that not the UN?
I'm not sure. It's in one of those places.
Yeah, I think it might be with the UN. Something to do with the UN. But then again, yeah, I might just not be thinking right. It could be it could be the Vatican. But for some reason I'm thinking it might be the UN. Something to do with I remember that being related to something like the New World Order. Yeah. I think it might be the UN. I could look it up, but I can't.
Yeah, I'm
That
got
totally
my
looks
tablet
like
in front of me.
yeah. Wow, Macron's wife is twice as old as him. It's interesting.
Alright, we finna see where this shit's at. The dark secrets behind the Pope's hall. Give me some images.
Because you're talking about the ones with the eyes, right? You can see that
Yeah,
serpent's
and the
eyes.
tail.
The tail
Let's see
too?
what this is. Because I got it pulled up right here in front of me. The Papal Audience Hall building at the Vatican. Yes, it is.
That's what it is, the Vatican?
It is the Vatican.
That is crazy.
And
That's so
where
much
the throne
worse.
sits that you were talking about that looks very freaky, right between two teeth.
And that's where it is. It looks like the wooden.
Yep, that's where it's at.
Wow. That is demonic. If I've ever seen anything demonic, it is that throne and especially
That's
sitting
crazy.
in that room with the serpent eyes. I mean, how
That
could
don't
people
nothing
even
wrong, I
see?
don't know what that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everyone. Do you have the name of it in front of you? That way, anyone here could just search it on their own, real quick.
It's called the Papal Audience Hall building at the Vatican.
So
that's what you search it as.
Yep, the Papal Audience Hall building
It's
at the Vatican.
almost like you're saying PayPal.
I know. I say it weird. The accent, the papal. Yeah, papal. The Papal Audience Hall, correct?
Makes you wonder who PayPal's really under.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think no. To be honest with you, didn't Soros have a lot to do with PayPal? What? There was someone really shady who was heavily invested in PayPal. And they sold because I remember the reason I know this is I know that they sold their their stock in it, and it was like a big deal, as if they were trying to sell off and get as much money as they can, because maybe their assets were frozen. Back in the Q days, we were trying to figure things out. But I mean, it's still the Q days, but like the early Q days when it was like fresh research, unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, it's funny
I've
that you
forgotten
mentioned
more
Q.
than I know.
My next door neighbor, she was real big on Q when he first came out, and she tried to tell me, all this stuff, like you're saying today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And then I heard there was a hidden gospel of Q. I'm like, and it's called the Book of Q. And I was like, oh shit, man. I know where they're getting this at now. But that book could possibly have a lot of information in it.
So what's it called?
The Book of Q.
The Book of Q, and it's like
The
it's like
Gospels.
12 Gospels.
The Lost.
Oh, the Lost Gospel. Okay, the Lost Gospel of Q.
Yep.
Is it the letter Q, or it sounds like Q?
The letter Q.
That's interesting. I gotta look that up. There's a lot of stuff I gotta look up after this show. I wish I had screenshots. I gotta get some good software that'll work on a Chromebook for screen sharing. This is just ridiculous. Everything that we're talking about, I should be able to look. It'd be so much more effective if I could like I do it on my old shows. You know what I mean? I pull it up and show them as well, and it just drives the point home. Keep driving the point home. Truth. You don't. It's not just saying it; it's showing it. You say it, you show it. You say it, someone else. I'm on the phone with someone. They bring something up. I search it. Boom! People can actually see it. That's one thing that I kind of, but I'll figure out what's the best software, because so far what I've tried hasn't worked so well. So I'll figure it
What
out.
have you tried?
I tried Streamlabs, and it works, except it like freezes up when you try to go live. It'll freeze before you go live. And this is a brand new computer, so
Right.
there's something with it running on this operating system. And then the other one is, what's it called?
StreamYard?
No, I haven't tried that. I wasn't sure if that was one of the ones. No, oh, here it is. Screencastify. And that works, but only like not live. You know what I mean? Like I can put together a good video, screen share with myself in the corner, and I could do that, but I can't be live when I do it. So let's say I wanted to do a video and not be live, I could do it easily with that. But
I think Google might have something.
well, that's the whole idea. It's a Google Chromecast. You know what I mean? Like it's
It's a Google Chromebook.
yeah.
So it might have something in it that you can go live off in. You play your music and everything. You might can go live from that.
Yeah, I thought there would be too, but to be honest, there's nothing. I mean, that what it suggests is this one I got, the Screencastify, or whatever it's called, whatever it's called, the Screencastify, screen video recorder. And basically it goes right onto the Chrome, and it be like on the Chrome search bar, it just pops up. Maybe let me see if I hit it right now while I'm live. I hope this doesn't mess up the stream, but so the Yeti mic, this embed webcam, it's like I'm recording. Yeah, see, it's not gonna translate to YouTube. It'll just be its own recording. It'll be a recording of this show. You know what I mean? Like right now, if I click here, I go away. You guys can't see me.
Compatible.
Correct?
I see
You guys couldn't Well, for when I clicked away though, you couldn't see the screen. You guys still might see me, but you can't see them on a different screen. So at least I know I can. So all right, so you guys can see me. So I can search things, but I can't show what I'm searching. That's what sucks. Like right now, I'll search. What is it that I wanted to search? Do you remember?
All right.
There was something. Oh no, it wasn't so much that I wanted to search. I just wanted to show it. Yeah, that's all it was. I'll figure something out. If anyone has any ideas, please put them in the chat because I'll read it. I always read, especially the chat. Just so you guys know, I read every single thing in chat, no matter how long the show is. I scroll through the chat afterwards, even if it's like the next day at some point. I'll scroll through the chat, so I end up seeing everything. So if you put something in chat, even if I don't catch it or acknowledge it during the show, I eventually do see it. There's a lot of times I'm like, oh wow, yeah, he had it, or oh, that's a great point. It's the next day. So it's getting pretty late here. I think I'm gonna call it. But I appreciate you calling in. It was nice to actually talk to you. We're in chat all the time, and I just want to thank you for and maybe I could talk to you later because I'm curious. I read something in chat. I didn't know what was going on. Maybe you could tell me later.
Oh yeah, it was a bunch of bullshit.
That's crazy.
Maybe we could talk offline for a few minutes after you end this.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know what's going on.
All right, yeah, that's cool. All right, we'll do that. And so just what? Hold on 1 second.
Right.
And so with that, I'm just gonna call it. So it's the Red Pill News Dispensary. I just gotta get a little bit of sleep. It's already 5:19 here. I'm probably gonna I'll go maybe sleep till 7 by the time I get off the phone. It'll be like 5 foot. So I'll see what I can do. But I need to get some sleep. But thank you for joining me. Anything that breaks, because you guys know right now we are at a time where it is high alert season right now with everything dropping. With the IG, he's going to be testifying tomorrow to this Pfizer abuse report and the D class, basically. And I think it's going to be very interesting. I think that there's going to be more distractions. I think that this stuff is going to continue. And meanwhile, Durham out of Connecticut, he's going to be coming pretty soon with actual charges where actual heads roll, and Pete, you're going to see cuffs. And those are the days I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this day, but it wasn't as sweet as I hoped because, these people are still free. After everything they've done to this great country, they're still free and walking around. I don't like it. But with that, Red Pill News Dispensary, thank you. Till tomorrow. And if anybody has any recommendations, operating for the Chromebook, as far as screen sharing, as far as what's the best, I'd appreciate it. Put it in the comments, whatever. All right, guys. I had a great time. Thank you. Hello?